This your first time
Thank
calling?
you. Very first time. I just noticed this on my phone a few minutes ago, so I'm a little bit late.
No, you right on time, brother. You right on time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Is there any questions that you have right now?
It looks like you guys are the response of my concern. Actually, it's so funny. I was wondering what would it take for us to unite in order to be substantive in our restoration project as Moors. And it seems like, I'm not really sure what the platform is for tonight, but it looks like based on the initial text that I saw, I might be better off listening so I can find out whether or not you have a response to my concerns.
So yes, sir, I appreciate that. So I'm gonna say this as to start it off. We have to have a government, brother. A lot of these brothers are talking nationality, but the law says only. Well, I'm gonna say it like this: to be taken serious. Free people around the world have free government that represents them to the other nations. We as a people have not had that until 2015. So the United States of America Republic is our nation state. It's our government for all Moorish Americans. This is the government, and we are trying to open up calls and discussions for all of our Moorish kin, no matter what religion or organization they come from, that they need to recognize their government and get in their government and become active in their government. And so the government that's what we needed. We need that as a people. We're not a people until we have it. So they're one and the same as far as government and nationality. They go hand in hand. In the international law, which is the standard, it will help you to understand that. Then you will be able to see why things are how they are in the so-called Moorish conscious community, in a sense. So we're just trying to have things firm and set in law, build trust within the people, because they know that we're not freestyling, we're not going by feelings, we're getting the results because we're doing it right. You can trust your government. That's what this is about. And we'll be able to, as people learn that they can trust the government, this government is going to grow, and we're going to get all the blessings that Allah or our Creator has set forth to us. But we got to earn it. We got to do the works. But the government is here to help. Yes, sir.
It's my concern, brother. I got awakened back in 2016, but I've been teaching in the corporate school system for 20 years. And what I have noticed for the past 4 years that I've been awakened is that I have been attending several different Moorish forces, classes, different groups of brothers, and it seems to me that there is no central government that I'm aware of, and when I say central government, in terms of us coming together under one umbrella, and that's my biggest concern right now, as the entire globe is being governed by Albion through the NATO coalition, which is a military coalition to control all of the resources of the earth. We must at this point come together, have our own NATO style of governing, where it doesn't matter where we are, but we come under one umbrella that we can come together and get things done. Do you see that possibility being possible in 2021 as different leaders from different groups are actually claiming to be the central government? That's a little bit confusing to me, a little bit being a little bit new. When I say new, 4 years of going to 5 years being awakened, I am not feeling that connection in terms of all of us being together as one. I yield.
So yes, I like that. I like what you were saying. The North Atlantic Trade Organization is a body politic that consists of many different nations, right, on the North Atlantic coast. And the strategic reason why they created NATO, that may be a whole other discussion on why they created NATO, how the United States may use not the UN to move forward or against another nation. They can use NATO, which is a smaller body. All NATO members are not, all UN members are not NATO members. But what I'm trying to get to is that the USAR, this call, is for all of these Moorish tribes, these Moorish, the different grand bodies of the Moorish Science Temple, Moors who identify as Indians, they got their own tribal thing going on. All of that is good. But the issue is they are, because we're so divided, it's harder for us to get the respect as a nation, because a nation, no other nation is going to do business with a nation who's not unified within themselves. So this is the goal here at USAR, is to have a spirit of welcoming all the Moors into one house. And that house is your government. And so I want to welcome you and let you know that as you grow into your studies, or things will start to be able to be confirmed to you by the actual application of the law, and we will teach you that. So you won't have to trust our words, but you can see our actions and understand that they are motivated because of a right way that we look at the law and the right application of the law.
I'm not,
and so that's what's going to make you feel proud to be a USAR national. Because you know your nationality, you're going to know your government is serious, you're going to know why and how and what's the agenda, because you will know the law. And that's what's wrong with the Moorish community, that everybody freestyle and there's no accountability. They can run back to the European and hide behind the European. You got to almost sue a brother.
Right, but I'm saying I don't know who created it. I didn't create it.
Don't take your people to these European courts.
Created it is the
but these people will have, where you can't make them be accountable. They will, you know, there's no accountability.
Okay,
so people are just doing whatever they want to do.
Well, how do I join the USSR? I am actually my tribe is actually our white from Haiti, and we have a tribal government, but we have
I'm just saying, let's show his energy. That's what I'm saying. With that negative energy, you can't just tell them, okay, dog, we get you on with them, okay, keep it moving. This is you, son.
What I'm seeing, however, I'm seeing that
get it. You don't fuck with us, then why you on here? Period.
There's a freestyling going on everywhere, to the point where sisters are competing against sisters, brothers against brothers, and that sends a very bad signal to the Europeans or the Albion, showing that we are still very divided, and as a result, they can still conquer us. And I don't know if this platform is safe enough and secure enough to discuss things of that magnitude, but at some point I think we need to invite in a forum that is non-threatening all members of the Moorish community, wherever they may be, including the adjoining islands, to sit together and then find a solution to this undesirable division that I see. And I know that the spirit means well, but the format of how we govern these vast states that belong to us, it's not really good governance. So again, I yield, but I'm excited to be on this call. But I initially was a bit concerned when I saw what I was seeing on the text messages. Thanks for that positive energy, and thanks for welcoming me. Again, I represent the Arawakan nations of Haiti, and as you know, the entire month is Haitian Heritage Month, so we honor everybody who's been fighting for our liberty, wherever they may be. We honor that Moorish heritage Either the brother is John Baptiste Dusable, the founder of Chicago, who was Haitian born. We welcome his spirit. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, the general who defeated the French army in 1804 and spread freedom all over the Americas. We welcome that spirit. We welcome the spirit of Malcolm X, who defied the status quo by any means necessary. We honor all of those people, including Dr. King and so on and so forth. But at some point, besides honoring our great ancestors, I think it is way overdue that we honor them indeed by coming together and take our vast Morris estate under our control. Right now, too many things are out of our control. Too many of our children in the school system are being experimented on. That's why I left the teaching altogether. I don't regret that I made that decision. There are too many things going on our estates, and it's time to reclaim it in the spirit of our ancestors who deserve no less, and I yield.
There's a lot of money. Okay. Point of interest. All right, I just happened to bring up on the screen because the brother was something about a centralized government. So right now, I challenge anybody to go across the country and show anybody with a building that's dedicated to government agency or government service as the government, with they sign up showing that that building is dedicated to government activity for their government, with their flag up, with it saying state government on the building or whatever government they saying they are. Again, if people have governments and they saying they're a centralized government, they should have a location. They should be able to show some type of location. Okay, we are in Google. You can Google it. The state building come right up. It'll give you the address and everything else for our location. Okay. Now, this is the consulate paperwork that I got on my screen. I want to go over some things, because a lot of people is using this paperwork right here, and they're being told that when they do this paperwork and send it to certain people, that they didn't have a nationality. So this is what I'm going to tackle first. So it says Moorish National Republic Federal Government. So let me show you something. And again, this ain't to attack, but to point out the flaws in what people are teaching, because you know all of us can't see flaws that good. Some of us able to spot flaws right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to teach you, and then you determine if these are flaws and things that don't make sense. Okay. Matter of fact, okay, this is one definition for a national government. They say a national government is a government with members from more than one political party, especially one that is formed during a crisis. National government, a coalition government, especially one during war or a time of national crisis. Okay, there was corruption. Okay, these just definitions. These just sentences they're using with national government. Okay. Now this is Collins Dictionary. Let me go. Okay, now let me go to my drive. On my drive, I definitely got Black Law Dictionary definitions. Let's get some definitions up there for national government. I don't know why my computer moving so slow. A national government is the government or political authority that controls a nation. At minimum, a national government requires a national army enough power over its states or provinces to set and maintain foreign policy and the ability to collect taxes. What are examples of national government? Are directly expressed powers stated in the Constitution. Example, the authority to levy and collect taxes, coin money, make war, raise an army and a navy, and to regulate commerce among the states. What are the powers of the national government? Only the federal government can coin money, regulate the mail, declare war, or conduct foreign affairs. The states retain a lot of power. However, notably, both the states and the federal government have the power to tax, make and enforce laws, charter banks, and borrow money. Yes, man. I may have to go out and come in on my other computer because it's moving slow. Okay, here we go. Y'all can't see my screen, right? Okay, a national government is a government of the people of a single state or nation, united as a community by what is termed the social compact, and possessing complete and perfect supremacy over persons and things, so far as they can be made the lawful objects of civil government. Now, what is a federal government? A federal government is distinguished from a national government. You hear that? It's distinguished from a national government. So a national government and a federal government are not the same. Okay? A federal government is distinguished from a national government by its being the government of a community of independent and sovereign states united by compact. Okay? So what's the difference in the two? Let me read it again. A national government is a government of the people of a single state or nation, united as a community by what is termed the social compact. Social compact. And possessing complete and perfect supremacy over persons and things so far as they can be made the lawful objects of civil government. What is a federal government? A federal government is distinguished from a national government by its being the government of a community of independent and sovereign states united by compact. Okay, now I wanted to bring that up and go over that because I'm gonna do some teaching tonight. I used to teach all the time. I stopped. But I'm gonna start back. So right here, the consulate is claiming to be a Moorish National Republic federal government. Do you see the contradiction in that? I want everybody to see the contradiction in that. You cannot be a national and a federal government. Impossible. Impossible. Now, when we start reading these documents, a lot of this is talking about the Moorish Moroccan Empire, and most people in the consulate demonstrate that they sovereign and that they're part of the Moorish Moroccan Empire. If you understand the Moorish Moroccan Empire, it was a emperor or a sultan. Okay, it is a monarchy. All right. Now, I don't know if you know about republics. This says this is a republic. Republics go against monarchies. For those that don't know, republics go against monarchies. And again, I don't want nobody to believe me. Let's go to YouTube and find out. We're gonna go to YouTube this time. You will see that the British Empire, which all the offshoots of the British Empire is called the British Kingdoms. And they're going to talk about different countries that was part of the British Empire, but when those countries decided not to, or if those countries became republics, they automatically were severed off from the British Empire, then the British Kingdom, because all republics go against British monarchy. All republics go against monarchies. Don't forget that. So we ain't got to nationality yet, but I kind of want to go over certain things dealing with these different types of governments, so people are clear and can kind of see the contradictions that's being made. Okay. There's certain things that's right in your face, but if you're not looking at it, you won't see it. And a lot of people are not looking at it because they really seeking their true freedom. They really ready to have a nationality and proceed as a nation. So we have to break these things down step by step so people can begin to see that this ain't an attack on the individuals. What Moors do is
the British Empire hasn't really existed since the late 60s. However, the empire didn't disappear without leaving a long-lasting legacy on the geopolitical landscape of today. A legacy that led to the creation of the Commonwealth of Nations. The Commonwealth of Nations is an association of 54 independent and sovereign states, most of which are former territories.
Somebody's line is unmuted. Can you mute your line, please?
With a conjoined land area of 11.5 million square miles and 2.4 billion people, the Commonwealth contains approximately 20% of the world's land and 32% of the world's inhabitants. This massive association is unique on the world stage, with its roots in British imperialism. At its height, the largest empire the world had ever seen, the decline of the British Empire led to political turmoil and unrest throughout its formerly colonized regions, particularly outside of its mostly white colonies like Canada and Australia. These colonies would be the first to see change, being promoted to dominion status throughout the late 19th century and early 20th century. This meant they had more independence over their own affairs, while still ultimately being under the authority of the crown. Canada would be the first to become a dominion in 1867. followed by Australia in 1901, New Zealand and Newfoundland in 1907, South Africa in 1910, and Ireland in 1922, the leaders of which would attend the 1926 Imperial Conference. At this conference, Britain and its dominions agreed that they would all be equal members of the British Empire, meaning, despite all owing allegiance to the Crown, they would not be ruled by the United Kingdom. The powers at this conference decided on the name British Commonwealth of Nations to describe their newly formed organization, the first form of what we now know as the Commonwealth of Nations today. This agreement would be formalized in the Statute of Westminster in 1931, allowing the Commonwealth to take shape. It is notable to point out that, at the time of the Imperial Conference, the British Empire included vast areas of land in Africa, much of the Middle East, the entirety of Pakistan and India, as well as several other regions across the world, while the only territories represented at the Imperial Conference were the predominantly white members of the British Empire, leading many to refer to this early form of the Commonwealth as the White Commonwealth. The newly formed British Commonwealth of Nations would only exist in this form for a relatively brief period. Britain's colonies not included in the early Commonwealth began to seek further separation and even independence from the British, beginning with India in 1947. India would become a part of the Commonwealth initially. However, upon announcing intentions to sever ties with the Crown and become a republic in 1949, it would no longer meet the requirements for Commonwealth membership. It was because of India's switch to a republican form of government that, at a meeting of Commonwealth leaders in 1949, it was decided that member states may be in the Commonwealth if they accepted the British Crown as a symbol of free association between member states, meaning India could remain in the Commonwealth. Along with this change, it was decided that the British Commonwealth of Nations would drop the British in its title, becoming the Commonwealth of Nations we know today.
Okay, stop. Did you hear them? When they became a republic, they automatically severed it. That severed it. You cannot be a republic form of government and be part of a monarchy. It don't work that way. Okay? So now we got, this is a national republic and federal government. So now you got the contradiction in it being a republic, but then you got the individuals trying to demonstrate like they part of a monarchy. You got people saying they empresses. You got people saying they talking about the Sultan, the Emperor of Morocco, etc., etc. This is a total contradiction. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Okay, but anyway, this paperwork is supposed to help you regain your nationality. Moorish Divine and National Movement of the World, Northwest of Maximum, Southwest of Maximum, Central of Maximum, adjoining Atlantis and Americana Islands, Temple of the Moon and Sun, the true and de jure natural peoples, heirs of the land, Islam. Okay, so this says right here, judicial notice. I'm gonna teach y'all. I'm gonna show y'all how y'all break. When y'all run across anything, I'm gonna show you how I break stuff down to get to that truth. It ain't hard to get to that truth if you're really trying to get to it. You can get to it. Judicial notice is used by a court when it declares a fact presented as evidence as true without a formal presentation of evidence. A court can take judicial notice of the indisputable facts. If a court takes judicial notice of the indisputable fact in a civil case, the fact is considered conclusive. Pay attention. It don't say they have to take it. It does not say they have to take it. Okay? Exactly. If they had to take it, it'll say they shall. S-H-A-L-L. It say they can take it. Okay? as fact. They don't have to though. Okay, so a lot of times when Moors is filing things in court, and they saying all this stuff, they're really only making assumptions in the law. They're not really proving anything. You got a right to file anything you want to file in the court. The court can take judicial notice of it, or it don't have to take judicial notice of it. They could dismiss it or throw it to the side. Yeah, you filed it, but guess what? It don't mean nothing in these proceedings to us. Okay? They could take it, but guess what? It don't mean nothing to them. It don't mean nothing in these proceedings. That's just something you done filed in here on the record. Okay. They're going to keep right on doing what they're doing. So a judicial notice, and again, here go another great clue for you to be getting to the bottom of things. Judicial notice is used by a court when it declares a fact presented as evidence. So do an individual present this, or do the court present a judicial notice? Which one? Okay. So this is saying judicial notice and proclamation. What's a proclamation? I know everybody on here know that a proclamation is what? Nothing more than a public announcement. That's all a proclamation is. But let me pull it up, because no, would you at least say man must be what he knows. So I'm going to teach y'all tonight so you can be what you know. Let's go. My bad. Proclamation. Definition. Proclamation, a public or official announcement, especially one dealing with a matter of great importance. That's nothing more than a public announcement. Okay? Look what it say right here. A clear declaration of something. The public or official announcement of an important matter. Can that be enforced? Is it enforceable in law? Is it enforceable? Of course it's not. A proclamation is an official declaration issued by a person of authority. Is issued by who? A person of authority. Are you an individual, a person of authority, to make this proclamation, and it carry weight where it stick? Most people trying to get their nationality, of course, can't have authority to make it stick, because one, they're trying to get their nationality, which means, guess what? They're not in good standing. That means they're not in good standing. Right? Okay. Person of authority to make certain announcements known. Proclamations are currently used within the governing framework of some nations and are usually issued in the name of the head of state. Okay. Let's see if we can find the head of state on this document. To all elected, all non-elected, and to all appointed United States Republic officials, public servants, and officers of trust, etc. Okay, so we know we ain't finna find it in there. Let's go to the bottom. So and so am a noble of the Al Moroccan Empire. Okay, remember I told you they demonstrating what? Moroccan Empire. Somebody got a line open. Can you mute your line, please? Okay, they demonstrating Moroccan Empire. Like I said, Moroccan Empire. Right here they got in, right? It say North America. You see what I'm saying? So when you're talking, when we in this government are saying United States of America, they'll try to say, well, this the Moorish Moroccan Empire, not the United States of America. But you see clear as day they got North America right out the Moroccan Empire. See, they playing word games with y'all. That's spin. I call that spin. Down here they got Al Moroccan American continents. That would be, guess what they got right there? North America. South America, Central America, right? So is it the Al Moorish Moroccan Empire? Are you going to acknowledge that it's the same thing? Come on, let's use our common sense. We know this is the same thing. They just done changed the name. Period. Okay? So, again, just go to the bottom of this. So, what head of state is issuing this document? I don't know. Because it don't have no head of state name on it. In fact, it claims to come from the Al Moorish Moroccan Empire, a document for the Moorish Moroccan Empire. But it clearly says that it's the Moorish National Republic federal government. Which one is it? Is it the Moorish National Republic federal government, or is this coming from the Al Moorish Moroccan Empire? Is it a republic, therefore going against the Al Moorish Moroccan Empire, which has a sultan or an emperor? Which one is it? Which one is it? It can't be all these things. Okay? Again, this is just a judicial notice and proclamation, carries no weight to give you back your nationality. This document has nothing to do with nationality, other than they're talking about it and saying all this stuff about Moorish American Aboriginals. It's just a bunch of talk. This carry no weight in no court or with no government. I don't care what government you get this to, they gonna say it's moot, it's frivolous. That's what they gonna say. It's moot, it's frivolous. And what they really gonna do to you if you bring this in, because they looking at it, and so they gonna say, oh, these them sovereign citizens, because they part of a national, a federal government and a national government, part of a republic, and they part of a damn monarchy. Who laws they under? Who laws they under? So they send it to the FBI, and your name goes on the sovereign citizens list. I'm telling you what they're doing with this, with these documents, and they call these documents, they got a name for it. They call it stencils. They call it stencils. Everybody you can just download the stencil and fill it out. Okay, they call it stencil. Okay. Let's go to the next document in there. I think I got another definition for that. National government. See, if we start taking apart the people, the entities that they're claiming to be. Now look right here. Federal versus national government. There is a very small distinction between a federal and national government. National governments, for instance, occupy the highest level of governance. Do the federal hold the highest? No. The national government holds the highest, right? Okay. A national government encompasses all other lower levels of government, such as local, state, and regional. This is why we must have a national government, being that we are the what? National citizens. Being the national citizens. Only the national citizens would be running the national government. Okay? Okay, let me go. We got to go back to this drive. Hold on. Okay. So I really shouldn't have to go through the rest of this paperwork, because just right there should be really enough to show you that if you're going through these so-called consulates to get your nationality, you don't have it. You don't have it. They have no power. The other thing I want y'all to understand is what a consulate agency is. A consulate is a instrumentality of a government. Okay? If it has no government, if it's not an agency of a government, and then I want y'all to look at this. Look at this. Look what I see. Show y'all what they do. They try to add support to this paperwork by doing what? Adding all these court cases in it. State police power extends only to immediate threats to public safety. What do any of that got to do with nationality? The right to park and travel. The right of citizens to travel. Is this supposed to be giving you your nationality? Is this document making a legal argument about your right to travel? Which one is it? Okay? I want y'all to start doing what the prophets say. The prophets say exercise your 5 senses. If you exercise your 5 senses, I'm telling you, you can't go wrong. Noble Ali didn't come here to teach you to stop thinking. He said he came to start you to thinking. We have to start thinking. Okay? Look what it say right there. Blatant want of jurisdiction. Blatant want of jurisdiction. Okay? The organic United States Republic Constitution derived from ancient Moabite Moorish law remains the supreme law of the land. How many people on here think this Constitution, United States Republic Constitution, United States Republic Constitution is your Constitution? Anybody on this call, if you think that's your Constitution, please speak up. Don't hold your tongue. Let's talk about it. Come on now. Come on now. I know some of y'all is rocking with it. Come on. Don't be ashamed. This is how you gonna learn. You gotta come clean. Come clean, y'all. Nobody gonna come clean? I can't talk about it if you don't come clean. Okay, I'm gonna keep it moving.
I never thought that was my Constitution.
Okay, what's the name of your Constitution?
And that's it. That's why I'm learning from you. I have no idea what Constitution is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what's up, brother. You can't be no more
by the U.S. or by the USAR.
Well, if we follow the prophet, Noble Jew Ali, we know what our Constitution is, because he say those that do not recognize the Constitution of their free national government will be classified as undesirables. So now the question comes down to, what is a national constitution, a free national constitution? Do you know? Anybody? Nobody in USAR. Any of the new people that's on here. Nobody in the government already. Let some of the new people answer. What is a free national constitution? Speak on. Did you say the divine constitution?
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. What you say?
Okay.
You got the flow. Go ahead. Did he fall off?
I'm at my side.
Huh?
I'm having issues on my side.
Yeah, we can hear you now though. So, for those that say the divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America is their free national constitution, that's not it. The divine constitution and bylaws tell you clear as day right on it that it is the divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. That means it's not a free national constitution of free national citizens. Now, is it? It is the divine constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Not the national citizens of America. Right? Okay. All I'm trying to show right now is that this paperwork does not any way, shape, or form convey any one nationality. It's a lot of contradictions in how they are teaching people in that consulate. It's a lot of contradictions. If you listen, all you got to do is listen. Okay? Sovereign personam jurisdiction proclamation. I am and proper persona, sui juris and proprio solo and proprio heredis at all times and all points in time. I know most people don't understand that when they in these people court, they not even proceeding against you, the person. Let me show you what they proceeding against in court. Let me show you what they proceeding against. It's called this. It's called in rem. Okay? In rem jurisdiction. They basically are proceeding against a thing and not the person. They make this clear. They're not even proceeding against you. You in there thinking they're going against you because they're talking to you. They want you to think that. But if you really know the law, you know they're really moving on you in rem, Latin, against a thing concerning the status of particular piece of property. Listen to what it is. For instance, in rem jurisdiction refers to the power of a court over an item of real or personal property. The thing over which the court has power may be a piece of land or even a marriage. Thus, a court with only in rem jurisdiction may terminate a marriage or declare who owns a piece of land. In rem jurisdiction is based on the location of the property, and enforcement follows property rather than person. Let me tell you, when they say that you're a felon, what that means. Felon, the word felon comes from England, and the way it used to be pronounced was feline. Feline. F-E space line. L-O-N. Feline. Okay, they then change it, make it felony here. But feline mean property price. Property price. Okay? So when you up in that court and you doing all this, what this is talking about over here, they really ain't paying you no attention because this ain't even what's going on. Ain't nobody doing nothing to you, the flesh and blood person. We ain't here about, guess what? Subject matter. We ain't here about the subject matter. Can anybody on here tell me what the subject matter is? Anybody other than the people already in the government? What is the subject matter in court? Anybody? What's the subject matter in court? Okay, the subject. Nope. Subject matter don't have nothing to do with just jurisdiction. Now, you can challenge the subject matter jurisdiction, but what is the subject matter that you're challenging the jurisdiction on? What's the subject matter?
Status.
Status of what? See,
Nationality.
I'm gonna show y'all that nobody is in their proper status. Nobody is in proprio persona. Nobody is in their proper status without having their land back. The subject matter is who's controlling the estate. The estate is the thing and realm that they're going against, which holds the property. Do they control it or do you control it? Okay? See, I teach jurisdiction for real. You ain't gonna be just walking around talking about challenge the jurisdiction, because most of these people that's telling you that, they don't even know how to challenge jurisdiction. I'm telling you right now. They sending you in there to get your head knocked off because you in there talking about your rights as a Aboriginal, Moorish American, attached to the land and all this stuff. And guess what? They in there moving in realm. Has nothing to do with moving on your personal jurisdiction. Because your body deal with the personal jurisdiction. Do they have guardianship or control over your person? Okay, that's the personal jurisdiction. All right. So again, I just want y'all to learn and know now. And I don't want y'all saying I didn't tell y'all when y'all using this paperwork, because I'm telling you right now, they ain't doing nothing with this paperwork but giving it to the feds, and then the feds is adding you to the list as a sovereign citizen. Look at this. Northwest of Maximum, Northwest Africa, North America, the North Gate, Temple of the Moon and Sun, all rights reserved. Do y'all see they paperwork with all that type of stuff on it that they give you?
No.
You don't see the difference in this paperwork and the paperwork they're giving you? They don't have all this stuff on there, on their paperwork to do what they're doing. If they don't have it on theirs, evidently you really don't need it on yours. You just don't know what's going on or how to attack. So what's being done with this paperwork is they throwing everything but the kitchen sink in there to try to make it have some power. But the main thing they missing is you ain't a government. So your paperwork has no power. Your paperwork ain't coming from no government. So it don't have no power. You're just pretending to be a government. And we know it. They may don't know it. The people you telling us to might don't know it. But us Europeans that colonized your land, we know. You're not fooling us. You're only fooling yourself. It's called great pretending. A lot of Moors love to be the great pretender. Ooh, ooh, pretending. Yeah, that they love to be the great pretenders. I'm telling you, pretending time is over with though. We got to start getting to the bottom. We got to start holding people's feet to the fire. We're not going to keep playing these games because our people's lives are at stake, and there's millions of unborn children whose life are at stake based on the decisions and what we do right now to secure our government and the perpetuation of our government for their freedom. Okay? That means being able to actually confer nationality and to actually do what? Be able to seize the estates. Oh man, look at this one. Oh my gosh. This is the silliest thing I ever seen right here. Now watch this. I want y'all to start thinking. Start thinking. Use your 5 senses. Great Seal, National Association of Moorish Affairs, Northwest of Mexico, Northwest Africa, North America, the North Gate, Temple of the Moon and Sun. But look what they do right here. I thought it was the Moorish Moroccan Empire. Look what they do right here. North America, Central America, South America, Americana. Islam, restoration of consular court. I'm going to tell y'all real simple. Listen to me. And I want all y'all to go on YouTube to my channel and watch my video. Yeah. And watch my video on consular courts. What I'm getting ready to do now is I'm getting ready to make a second video to that video because evidently people ain't paying attention and listening. But I break down the whole consular court thing. Okay? You do not need a consular court in your own country. You do not need a consular court in your own country. If we are at home in our land, why are you trying to have a consular court when the national court rulings will supersede any, guess what, consular court on our land? The national court is going to have the last say so. You understand? Prologue. What is a prologue? Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me look this up. See, I like to look up words. I need to know the meaning. What they talking about right there. What do prologue mean? What do prologue mean? Do a prologue have any effect in law?
Prologue.
A separate introduction section of literary or musical work. Come on now, y'all. You think literary and musical work is going to get you your nationality? What do literary and musical work got to do with giving you back your nationality that you done lost? An event or action that leads to another event or situation. Yeah, it leads to your name going on the FBI list as a terrorist and as a sovereign citizen. That's what it leads to. And that's going to lead you into an event that's going to lead you to another situation, such as getting your window bust out and the police pulling you out of the car and slamming you down on the ground and all that stupid stuff they like to do because you talking about you got a right to travel. Okay, so let's go back to the document. So now we know what a prologue is. So we automatically, we know this document carry no weight. This document cannot restore no consular court. It's too simple, y'all. Y'all not thinking. I want y'all to start thinking when people putting this stuff in y'all face. Remember what our mama taught us. Read it before you sign it. You don't know what that word means? Get the dictionary. Look it up. Right? I know all our mamas taught us that. Consular court restoration. Again, you can't restore no consular court with this document if it's a prologue. Because that's what it said it is. I don't even got to read it. This ain't nothing but a literary work or music. That's what this is. So I know it ain't music, so it ain't nothing but a literary work. Literary work won't get you your nationality back. This document carries no weight whatsoever. And a questionnaire definitely doesn't carry any weight. It's just a questionnaire. Okay. So I'm done with the consular court paperwork, and hopefully you understand that it does not give you your nationality back.
I have a question.
You got the flow?
You stated that they're putting us on a list with the FBI to come in for paperwork.
Yeah, with this right here, that's why they call you a sovereign citizen. These people ain't got no government. They claiming to have a government, and then they claiming to be about 15 different types of governments and a monarchy. And a monarchy. You think an empress that's saying they're empress and saying they sovereign is part of the body of the people? No. I listened to Tracy Gale Bay the other day, and I heard her clear as day say, yeah, if you tell a Moorish subject what to do, I'm like, who's she talking about? Who is she calling subjects? Who is these Moorish subjects? See, that language, Moorish subjects, let you know they dealing with a monarchy. And they think they the monarchs. They actually think they're real empresses and they the monarchs. And everybody that they deal with, who they helping and who become part of that consulate, y'all all subjects. So why they telling you you a noble and why they telling you you sovereign, I find the video, cut the clip out so you can see it for yourself. She clearly say, when you tell more subjects what to do, so are y'all subjects or are y'all sovereign? See, they got an ugly spin over there, and people be going for it. I don't know how. They ain't thinking. If you sovereign, how you a subject? Then when you get a court case and go to court, they telling you supposed to know how to demonstrate as a sovereign. But damn, you just said I was a subject the other day on the video. Which one is it?
Right.
The other thing is, damn, I thought this was a consular post, a consular court. Okay, from my understanding about a consular court, you supposed to come to court and represent me in court. I ain't supposed to be in there having to defend my damn self. That ain't what consular courts do. I want y'all to watch this show. It's on Hulu. It's called Locked Up Abroad. Watch when the consular officials come to see about people abroad. The consular official gonna come talk to you at the jail. The consular official gonna negotiate and make sure you get back to your crib. I watched one of them. The lady was finna commit suicide. They gave her a life sentence. European lady, United States citizen. She about to jump off the roof. The little guard lady stopped her. Hey, what you doing? So she ended up doing, I think they say she did 6 years. And then the United States government, she either did 3 years in there or 6 years in there. Then the United States government had done worked it where she could be turned over to them and brought back to the United States. Now, I watched another, and this is why I tell people, don't think because when you got a consular court that they able to just snap their fingers and out you come. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. Watch the show. That's why I be watching it, so I can really direct people. Stop thinking that these people, even if they are a consular court, stop thinking that you just get out of jail overnight, because it depends on the treaties that they have and how well those consular officials are, the relationships they got with the nation that you done got in trouble with, and how well that which they call foreign relations, how well the foreign relations between the two nations is, and what the treaties is saying between the two nations on how you are to be treated based on what criminal activity they saying you done, etc., etc. Okay, so now this other lady had got 30 years in prison, and she thought she was gonna die. She did 3 years. Then the United States government came and got her. Okay. This guy, he did 3 years. He had a life sentence. They ended up knocking the life sentence down to 30 years though. But the United States, so he did 3 years. The United States government ended up negotiating, getting him released over to them to go to jail in the United States. And the United States told him, well, you got to do, I think they told him he had to do 20-something years or whatever. Well, he had a 30-year sentence. I think they told him, they say, well, 3 years in that jail in that country is like 7 years in American jail. So you do another, I think they told him he do another 6 months or whatever, and then they released him. He did 6 months over here in federal prison, and then they released him. Same thing with the lady who had the license. The United States came and got her. They told her, well, you know, based on that jail that you was in, this, that, and that. The lady ended up coming. She did 18 more months, and then they released her. And again, you're going to see that when they go negotiate the release of these people, guess what? These people still must come back to this country and go to jail for a period of time before the United States release them. They must show the other country that they're doing what? That they're punishing them. The other country can't tell them how long to hold them, but they got to still show that they're punishing their citizen for doing wrong in their country. Okay? And so the same thing with us as a people. We got to be able to show when we are extracting our people. Oh, he did what? He hit the lady in the head with a brick, snatched her purse. Oh, okay, we got it. We don't just get them from them, bring them and just, hey, okay, you can go home now. No. Dude, you got to go do 18 months in our jail. Now, they was going to give you 6 years. We give you 18 months. You got to go do that in our jail. That's called being responsible for your citizens. Okay? All right. And I hate people that quote Noble Ali, but then don't do what he say. A lot of these people in these consulates are changing their name. I urge you to get the oral statements of Noble Ali. He tell you very clearly, do not change your name. Just add il or bay to your name. When you're signing your name, add the il or bay properly. If they ask you your nationality or race, write your nationality, Moorish American. That's all you're supposed to do. If you change your name, I'm only telling you that do not work. For whatever reason you think that's working, it's not working. The only thing they do is go in your file that they have and put AKA whoever. AKA Jay-Z, AKA Snoop Dogg, AKA Tupac. Whatever they still look up Jay-Z case when he had a case. All these Europeans call Jay-Z Jay-Z. But when he got that case, they was calling him Sean Carter up in that courtroom. Same thing with Snoop Dogg. They was calling him by his real name up in that courtroom. They wasn't calling him Puff Daddy, Puff Daddy. They was calling him Sean Combs in that courtroom. You feel what I'm saying? Suge Knight was not Suge Knight in that courtroom. He was who he was. You feel me? So again, don't get thrown off. Stay on course, y'all. And by all means, don't just take these lessons what I'm teaching y'all and keep it to yourself. Start educating other people who is going to these consular court mess with this BS because they're taking advantage of our people. We got to stop it. It's slowing down the perpetuation of us as a race because they're not a real government. And this paperwork carry no legal nothing. No legal power whatsoever. It's moot and frivolous. I'm telling you. You got the flow.
I just wanted to go back to the importance of writing our name properly. Is that with anything we sign our name on? Like, no matter what it is, always make sure we put our L or our bay in our name?
Yeah. That ill and that base is going to supersede that surname and let them know you are more. That's going to let them know you are more. Okay?
Okay, you breaking up
President.
Yeah, that's gonna let them know you're more. Okay, any more questions on the consulate paperwork?
I have a question, President. Can you tell me why they say it's not good to try and sign ourselves back into a corporation?
Because they idiots. So yes,
Okay.
talk about how idiotic that is. Okay, most sovereign citizen people be talking about, oh yeah, I'm a flesh and blood, full liability, man or woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? If you are flesh and blood, full liability, man or woman, then guess what that means? You can get hit with this liability then, can't you? Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a full liability, man or woman, that means you able to get hit with what? The liability, right?
Right, law.
Okay, guess what? We, the Moorish American people of the United States of American Republic, cannot get hit with full liability. Why, Cannon Bay? Because we have what's called a government entity in front of us, the flesh and blood people, just like all the rest of the people got. That's why when that police violating your rights, he don't care about doing it, because guess what? He behind a corporate entity. You can't touch him. You gotta sue the corporation I work for. If me and you open up a hamburger place right now, why would me and you open up? Man, we made all this money. Somebody get a bad hamburger with some old meat came in, got sick, sued me and you, took your house, took my house, took your car, took my car, empty, froze our bank account. We upside down. We can't pay our bills. Our business done closed. It's a reason people incorporate, so that they don't get hit with the full liability. That's what's wrong with African American people today. They have no government entity in front of them, so therefore they get hit with what? All the liability. Now you tell me what makes sense.
So that's why in the courtroom, or if you look at a court document, it'll say like the state of Illinois versus Derrick Rose.
Exactly. And how can Derrick Rose beat the state of Illinois when the state of Illinois is, guess what? The people. See, that's what they fail to realize. Ain't no corporation created by itself. It's a group of people that got together, created it for what? Their benefit.
Mm-hmm.
See, these people, they probably, guess what? Ain't never had a corporation before. Ain't never had a business before. And this is what I be telling y'all. Y'all be just listening to people. You got to start asking these people some questions. Hey, have you ever had a business? Have you ever had a business before? Oh, okay, so this makes sense now. You don't have no business sense. That's why you saying what you saying. Have you ever had a corporation or a LLC or anything before? Oh, okay, you never? Oh, okay, so I get it. I understand why you're saying it, because you don't understand them. You don't understand the significance of having it. It's not called a limited liability company for nothing. Listen to what it's called. Limited liability company. It's so that you don't get hit with the liability. You face limited liability. If you're limited, if you got an LLC and you got that limited liability company. So now let me show you the ignorance in what they teaching again. So now we the flesh and blood people, and corporations don't have nothing to do with us, and we don't honor corporations, and they gone with that mess. We don't want to hear it. But then guess what they doing? If they read Title 15, it's telling you that the flesh and blood, man or woman, is not an article of commerce, right? So guess what? How is you up in this courtroom trying to talk to us? Don't you understand we're corporations? You keep saying it. We're corporations. That means we can only hear, guess what? Paper. That's all corporations can hear. Corporations can't hear what you saying out your mouth. They can't hear that. They can only hear what? Paper. This is why every corporation got what? A complaint form. A complaint form for you to complain. Don't come in here and tell us nothing. You got to put it in writing. So now, how do you expect for us to interact with you? You in this courtroom talking about you in proper persona, which means you in your proper person, which means you in here acting as a flesh and blood individual, and you keep telling us that you're a flesh and blood individual and you don't recognize corporations. We can't have no conversation with you then. Everything up in here is dealing with corporate and artificial entities. So what you just did was, let me tell you what they're doing. They jumping off the boat and trying to swim to the bottom of the ocean without scuba diving gear. They going up into space and jumping out the damn space suit, out the spaceship with no goddamn spacesuit on. This is what they doing. You cannot interact in commerce without your straw man is your spacesuit or your scuba diving gear. It will allow you to interact with them, those corporate entities, if you know what you're doing.
So you saying that the diving gear,
you breaking up, sister. Say it again.
The scuba diving gear, that's what our government is when we're in a courtroom?
No. Your government is your protection. It's your corporate or artificial or juridical entity and law that keeps you from getting hit as an individual by the liability that they're trying to put on you. Because they're saying the people of the state of Illinois versus Jeffrey Day. We able to come in and say, nah, it ain't the people of the state of Illinois versus Jeffrey Day. It's the people of the state of Illinois versus the people of the United States of America Republic, in which he's one of us. So now it's government entity versus government entity. Who created the state of Illinois? The people in Illinois State Republic created the state of Illinois to operate as a government entity with other government entities in commerce on their behalf. The people of the United States of America Republic, who are Moorish American nationals and Moorish American citizens, are created a government entity which they call the United States of America Republic, which is a government entity to interact with other government entities on their behalf for their protection. It's too simple. Guess what? No, you can't go start no LLC and think you standing on something, because guess what? A government ain't finna hear what no LLC got to say, except for if it's in there talking about its corporate officers, or it's talking about the power they got. You know, hey, we want to move our business over here, over there. Guess what? A LLC cannot talk citizenship and nationality. It's not a government. It's not a government. You cannot speak nationality and citizenship. Only a government entity can do that. Why can a government entity do that and any other corporation can't? Because a government entity is created for the administration of people. It's created for the administration of people. Walmart was not created for that. Walmart was created for products that go on the shelf for you to come in and buy and purchase and move merchandise. Who don't know this? You got two forms of business. I don't care what kind of business you do. There's only two types of businesses. One is services and the other one is merchandise and product. It's sales. Those are the only two type of businesses it is that you can establish or open. Either you're providing services or you're selling something. Ain't no third one. It's either or. The United States of America Republic is in the business of public administration. Public administration. We know you ain't gonna pay no attention to the red light done went out. So what we gonna do is give somebody a job and say, hey, your job is to ride around and make sure and change these bulbs, because we already got knowledge that guess what, these bulbs last exactly 6 months. So a little bit before the 6-month period, we got a list of when the bulb been changed in them. You got to go around and change the bulbs in these red lights so people can get the red light and not run through a light and kill somebody. That's public administration. Oh, it snowed 4 inches. You ain't finna put your clothes on, go out there and start shoveling and cleaning the snow off all the major streets in the city. You're not gonna do it. This is where public administration come in again. We hire people to do snow plow removal to clean the streets so that our public can ride on the streets safely and to distribute and spread salt on the streets so you can drive. Public administration. Oh, you don't have a car, but you need to be able to get to the other side of town. Okay, we're going to create what they call public transportation.
Our session, and a 1 hour session is...
Somebody got a point of interest? If you're not speaking to me, please mute your line. Okay. So, the next thing I'm going to bring up, because we know that paperwork said declaration on it, right? So we got some people that really think they can do a declaration of nationality and that they will have their nationality. So let me show them that is not true. You can do this paperwork if you want to. You can do all these affidavits. You're just wasting your time and your money. I'm telling you. You're making these people rich. They love you. Guess what? I'm trying to get me a broker so I can invest in red ink pens and red ink. Because y'all going to make me a billionaire. All that stuff do not matter. What color you're writing in. All that. You know, flesh and blood people write in blue ink, and yeah, corporations sign in black ink, and yeah, we got this red ink because we saying we sovereign, and that's like we writing in our blood. Yeah, I get it. But guess what? It don't matter what color you writing in if what you saying ain't shit. Islam. Huh? Oh, I got kicked out, huh? No, the call still. Is y'all still on here? I think you just got. Yeah, people still in here. They just got kicked out. They gotta come back in. No, we still in here. It's 28 people in here. They talking now. Okay. Peace and love. The sister got kicked out. She called me like your session ended. Okay. Is this making sense to y'all right now? Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody following, right? Now, guess what? I ain't the type of guy to get mad because somebody want to challenge me on what I'm saying. If you think what I'm saying is incorrect, please correct me. Please step up. Give your point of view. But guess what? You're going to have to prove it with law, what you're saying. You're going to have to prove your point. Now, if you don't agree, it's fine. I'm not going to cuss you out. We ain't going to treat you like shit because you got a question. Are you going against what I'm saying? We don't do that over here. All we going to do is keep talking, and I'm going to keep proving until you get it. You got the flow, hands.
So I had a quick question. So, for someone like me who actually went down that road that's classified as like sovereign citizenship, with all the injunctions and the affidavits and all that, is it anything that I need to go back and reverse now that I am a part of the government?
Nope.
Okay.
The government does it all. You part of an autonomous nation. You follow the law, the correct policy and procedure, and the law to renounce your allegiance to the United States government. according to aliens and immigration, once you take when you turn 18 and you take an oath of allegiance to a foreign government, or take an office or a seat in a foreign government, and with the intention to relinquish your United States nationality, you are now part of a different government. You're part of a foreign government. This the law of the United States. This is what Noble Ali is talking about in Act 6 when he say you must be recognized by the government in which you live. This government recognizes you, right? Hands. This government recognizes you, right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. If the people grab you, what's the first phone call? To your mama or to the government?
Call my government.
Call your government. There you go. Call us first. Guess what? You should be, as soon as they turn their lights on, you're supposed to be on the phone and have a speakerphone on, and we sitting there, we listening. We listening to everything going down. We gonna go through that whole traffic stop with you if you call. We gonna stay on that phone. You say, hey, prayers, they finna take me to jail. Okay, ask them where they taking you to. Guess what? By the time you ride from wherever they got you at and y'all get to that station, we gonna have some paperwork coming over there. Informing them and letting them know you are national under this government. When you get there, you are not to let them fingerprint you. You are to tell them they must contact your government, and if they want your fingerprint, your government got a application for them to fill out for that, and it's going to cost them $1 million because them fingerprints belong to your government.
That's right, you got your
Damon Holman Bay, can you mute your line? Damon Holman Bay, can you mute your line? Somebody else got an open line. If they not asking a question, then mute your line, please. Okay, why is this I'm gonna have to make sure I'm on my other computer next time. This computer moving slow as I don't know what. You got the flow.
I know I basically have been told we bring in our birth certificate. So when in cases that when people tell me, oh no, there's something tied to that, you're not supposed to have to give up your birth certificate. How am I supposed to address that?
Who say you're not supposed to give up your birth certificate?
Well, basically, I know the consulate, they told me, oh no, we don't need that type of information. So when I come to you and like this government is meeting that, like it was kind of in my head, like, okay, why? What's my information?
Okay, let me show you why. I'm gonna show you why. Watch this. I'm gonna show you why. Okay. See, again, you talking about somebody that don't know how to run a government because they don't have a government, so therefore they don't understand why they would need it. Guess what? They shouldn't need it because they ain't doing nothing but taking your money. That's all they doing because they ain't giving you no nationality, so therefore they don't need it because their whole agenda in the first place is to do nothing more than get your money. That's why they don't need it. Okay, you see that what I put on my screen? It's called hold in due course. Now, let's read what a hold in due course is. What is hold in due course of? With example. Hold in due course is a legal term to describe the person who has received a negotiable instrument in good faith and is unaware of any prior claim or that there is a defect in the title of the person who negotiated it. For example, a third party check is a holder in due course. You understand? So, let me slide over here. In commercial law, a holder in due course is someone who accepts a negotiable instrument in a value for value exchange without reason to doubt its legitimacy. A holder in due course acquires the right to make a claim for the instrument's value against its originator and intermediate holders.
So if I go to court, you can use my birth certificate to come get me?
You know what they do? You know what they call that? Let me show you what they call that. Watch this. Let me show you.
Mm-hmm.
That is called a warehouse receipt. That's what it's called. Guess what? If I got the warehouse receipt, I can come pick up the merchandise. Because see, jail ain't nothing but a warehouse. They're warehousing you. They're warehousing you. Okay? You're in a warehouse. You're being stored there. They're holding somebody's property for them until the individual come pick the property back up. Okay? Let's see what this sister can say. Let's see what she said. You gonna learn, y'all gonna learn today. Don't think you gonna come on my call and you ain't gonna learn nothing. You gonna learn something every time you come on this call. If I decide I'm gonna teach, you gonna learn.
So says, Islam on the internet.
You got the phone.
So if we have loved ones or something that's in the warehouse, which is this, and we are the holder of the instrument, basically which is their birth certificate, we can petition their court to go pick up our merchandise.
Yeah, but you gotta have the power to do that, baby.
Right.
You need only a government can do that. The government is called a conservator or a guardian. So you've been your child's guardian all this time, but guess what? You're not the conservator. The state is the conservator, and the state is the true guardian or trustee. Okay? You don't have power to go do it because you're not a state. Only states can be conservators. Only states can be holders in due course. Okay? If something happened to you, the house burned down, anything happened, guess what? Can you produce another one of them birth certificates? Nope. But guess who can?
The state.
You better know it. Public administration.
A warehouse receipt is a document that provides proof of ownership of commodities, for example, bars of copper that are stored in a warehouse, vault, or depository for safekeeping. Warehouse receipts may be negotiable or non-negotiable. Negotiable warehouse receipts allow transfer of ownership of that commodity without having to deliver the physical commodity. See delivery order. Most warehouse receipts are issued in negotiable form, making them eligible as collateral for loans. Non-negotiable receipts must be endorsed upon transfer. In the United States, warehouse receipts are generally regulated by Article 7 of the Uniform Commercial Code as adopted by the various jurisdictions. Warehouse receipts also guarantee existence and availability of a commodity of a particular quantity, type, and quality in a named storage facility. It may also show transfer of ownership for immediate delivery or for delivery at a future date. Rather than delivering the actual commodity, negotiable warehouse receipts are used to settle expiring futures contracts. Warehouse receipts may also indicate ownership of inventory goods and or unfinished goods stored in a warehouse by a manufacturer or distributor.
Okay, see, these people be talking over people's head. If you don't know this stuff, you don't know what's going on. They ain't trying to teach you this. Didn't I tell you they dealing with what? Property price, a felon, property price. They in that courtroom talking about property. And you the property that they talking about. Okay? Don't hate the game. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. Don't you know how it go. Wake up and start doing what you supposed to do the way you supposed to do it as people. The whole world playing this game. You can play it too. You hear people saying all the time, I ain't no slave, I ain't no subject, I ain't no property. You better be property belonging to your people if you want us to come get you. Because that's how we got to come, because that's all they dealing with is property rights. And guess what? Your actual rights is property. Your actual rights is property. So if they got the right of you, they got your rights is out the window because they own the actual property being you. Therefore, you don't have no real property rights because you're a minor. So you know what they say? You can't enter no contract because that contract is bogus because I was a baby. My mama couldn't, and I couldn't enter no contract when I was a baby. I'll be like, you got to be kidding me. Is you that naive? So you telling me right now, when you was a baby, your last name is Smith. When you was a baby, you trying to tell me your mama didn't have no legal right to sign you over to the Johnson family, and now here it is, 22 years later, your last name is Anna Johnson? And that's fraud. No, your mama was a legal age in capacity. Now, if she didn't know no better, if she didn't read the contracts, that's on her. But don't ever think she didn't have a legal right to do whatever she wanted to do with you because you was her property when you were a minor. You didn't need to be able to enter a contract when you was a baby. And they got the law giving you your remedy. When you turn 18, you need to do what? Proclaim what government you live in. And the nations of the earth, like Noble Ali told you, when you turn 18, you are the age of majority. You need to be letting us know what kind of citizen you are, what government you up under, what's the name of your national constitution, etc., etc., what laws you fall up under. This your big chance to show that you competent. This your big chance to show you ain't no minor. See what I'm saying? You got the flow.
Okay, so, and I know the question. So with us being a part of the government, right, that means that you don't have to go through the whole process of, what process was it? When you have to make like a private family trust and all that, and doing the UCC filing.
That's a no-no.
UCC 3.
That's a no-no. The nation files that.
Okay.
You think every individual in China is filing a UCC to be recognized as part of the nation of China? No, China got all that covered already. Wherever you go, you're a citizen of China, and all our contracts apply to you.
Okay.
That's what they doing to you right now. They contracts applying to you because you're a resident under their state. You their property. So what this government is going to do with that birth certificate is it's going to make the government a holder in due course. You're going to get a new birth certificate issued by your government. So when they bust out that birth certificate trying to claim ownership, what this government is going to do is bust out your new birth certificate and your old birth certificate showing that you conveyed that over to this government and that you were reborn again and issued a proper birth certificate that attaches you to the actual landmass called North America. Your birth certificate no longer say state of any of these states, because if it say that, you property of these states, which are what? Corporate states, right? All these states got corporate banners, right? Your government flag is the flag not of a corporate state, but a natural people. There's a difference, right?
So when I got when you sent me a copy of my live birth certificate, what did you do with the one that I had to get authenticated? What did you do with that?
That's in your folder.
So you contacted the Secretary for the Indiana and let them know or something like that?
No, we didn't have to do that. We'll contact them about what? What we contact them about? We already contact them. We got a charter over there to say that we the Moorish American people, etc., we declare our independence and sovereignty from the United States, and because y'all keep killing us dead in the street, because y'all killed Bob Marley, Michael Jackson, Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X. We already done said, hey, y'all keep lynching people and y'all ain't solving it. We already said y'all keep shooting people dead and ain't punishing nobody. We done already severed all ties. We already made our intention to do what? Relinquish United States nationality when you join this government. So now, finish fulfilling what aliens and immigration say, when you take your oath of allegiance and your oath of office to this government, you already declared your intention that you are giving up and relinquishing United States nationality. Now you're following the law. See how that works? So when they stop you and you bust out that United States of American Republic driver's license that you carry, that's going to let the police in Indiana know, along with your conversation in your mouth, let him know that your government is the United States of American Republic and you're a Moorish American national and you up under a different government. And hey, player, I'm not in the state of Indiana. I'm in the province of Indiana. I'm under a totally different jurisdiction, player, than what you that you are running around here. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with totally different jurisdiction. That's why I keep telling y'all, you have to walk through your house all day, every day, spit that game like I just spit it. So when they stop you, it come out smooth. Guess what? If you're a government official and you're a state rep, you should be walking through the house. Yeah, my name Tony Smith, state rep for the province of Indiana. You do not introduce yourself to nobody without your title. If you have a seat in this government, if you're a senator, you tell them, I'm Senator Tom Ross, United States of American Republic, national government. I'm Commissioner Tom Jackson, Bay, United States of American Republic, national government. I'm Attorney General, Home and Bay, United States of American Republic, national government. You got titles. When you come talk to them, he gonna say, don't call me that. My name Judge so-and-so. I'm Officer so-and-so. I'm Commissioner this. I'm the mayor of the city. They use their titles. Because they act in what? In a public capacity. So you need to let them know you in a public capacity. Once you become a public servant, you can never be private anymore. You can never be a private citizen anymore once you take a seat and an oath of allegiance in a government and take a government seat, an oath of office. Don't they still call Jimmy Carter President Carter? Nixon President Nixon? Bush President Bush? That don't go nowhere. They will forever be known as that till they die. Speaker of the House, Pelosi, whatever their name is, Secretary of State, Gary Hart. They do not lose them titles, even when they resign. The only way they lose their title is they take another title in another seat. Yeah, he used to be the Secretary of State. Now he Supreme Court Justice so-and-so. They don't just introduce themselves. Y'all got to learn that. Practice saying who you are. Do not introduce yourself to anybody without your title.
Sure, they call Obama Berry now.
They call him what?
They call Obama Berry. They call him by a real name.
Some people do. A lot of people still call him President, though. President Obama. Okay. So, who still think they can get their nationality from a consulate post? Anybody? Now, show me a consulate. I want you to look all over the globe of this earth and find me a consulate post that confer nationality. I guarantee you, you will not find none. Find me a consulate post in any country that confers nationality, you will not find it. Consulate posts, consular courts do not confer nationality. Period.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. What is the job of a consular court? If me and my wife leave here right now and go to China, guess what? My wife she was pregnant, she had the baby while we was in China. Guess what we do? We go to the consular court. We talk to our consular official. We say, hey, I just had my wife just had the baby while we over here in China. I don't want my baby to get a Chinese birth certificate saying my baby Chinese. Could you issue us a United States of American Republic birth certificate, please? Showing that we're Moorish American, please. And guess what the consulate officials do? They say, we're going to get that together and get it right to you, sir. That's what a consulate do. What else do a consulate do? Oh, me and my wife went traveling last year. We was in Russia, and somebody stole our luggage and stole our passports. So we went to the Moorish American consulate over in Russia and let them know right away that our passports got stolen, and we needed some new passports. So the Moorish American consulate over in Russia, they issued us some new passports. That's what a consular court does. What else do a consular court do? Oh yeah, you know, last year we went to Australia, and you know, my son, he crazy as I don't know what. He over there spray painting on the people's walls with some spray paint. I don't know, I guess he thought he was in America, and they locked his tail up, and they said he had to do 3 years in jail under their laws over there for spray painting on the wall. And so I went to the Moorish American Consular Court and let them know they had done locked my son up, who is a Moorish American. And then the consular officials went over there to the jail and talked to the Australian government and started looking up the treaties we had with the Australian government and letting the Australian government know under treaty article so and so and so and so, you know, this is not anything that they can hold him in their jail for. They can simply ask us to deport him back to America. So we need to negotiate when y'all gonna turn him over to us so we can have him deported back to America. See, this is how a consular court, this is what consular courts does. This is what a consulate does. It don't do this shit that you see these people doing. Learn what these government agencies do, and you won't be getting taken advantage of. It's simple. Simple, y'all. It's simple. Guess what? You got an information highway right in your living room. I call her my girlfriend. Her name is Google. I ask her anything, she tells me. If I ask her the right question the right way, she give me what I want. She love me. Understand? She'll love you too. And guess what, ladies? She got a twin. Her twin is a boy. So you can even holler at him. His name Google too. Okay? Any questions, comments, or concerns? And I don't know why this case ain't coming up. Let me do this again.
Yeah, man. I'm Ray Bay. I'm in Virginia.
It's long. How you doing, Ray Bay?
Hey. Doing good, man. Appreciate you guys making us available to get up here and try to get some clarity. You know, a lot of stuff out here, man. I've been into a lot of different folks. But the last contact with North American Consulate, and I did get my papers back sealed from them, but I guess most recently sent my sealed document off to like the corporations. I was saying on the message that I did it, and one fellow was saying that I guess this stuff was found where it has some type of fraud in it. So if that's the case, is that whole process bad, or how do we fix it?
Oh, okay. Let me ask you a question. Hold on. Okay, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What's the name of the government?
What's the name of the government?
Yeah.
Are you talking about United States government?
No, I'm talking about the consulate. What government is the consulate agency of?
I'm not sure.
Are you aware that a consulate is an agency of a government?
Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware. Are you talking the Northeast Mexico or something like that?
Is that a government or is that a land?
Okay, well, I'm not sure actually what part of government it's a part of.
Okay, if you don't know if it's a government, how do you know it's an actual consulate?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay, Nobuju Ali say, I want you to exercise your 5 senses. He said, I came to start you back to thinking. If you start thinking again, you'll save yourself. Okay, so now you just said you got some paperwork from an entity or some people claiming to be a government agency, but you don't know the government that it's connected to. So how do you know the paperwork even carry any real weight?
Well, I'm not 100% sure.
You're not 100% sure what?
I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, you're not 100% sure. Okay.
It's can the real way or not.
Now, the next question. Watch this. I want you to just think about what I'm finna say now. Tell me a government that confers nationality and then tell you got to go mail all this to all these other agencies. Or do the government just tell you, oh yeah, you're in the right department, so fill this form out and turn it in right here at this counter?
Yeah, you got
yes, we can hear you.
I don't know one.
Go ahead, brother. I think the brother got a point of interest. Hold on, brother. You go ahead, brother.
Okay.
It's a beat from the Napa territory, aka New York. So I'm curious about that consulate situation. So basically, if I'm somehow understanding, the consulate is supposed to normally documents for you rather than tell you to do it, correct? Or am I wrong?
No, you're wrong. Consulates don't have nothing to do with conferring nationality. Nothing at all. And you do not have a consulate in your own country. Number 3, a consulate is an agency of a government. Can you tell me the name of the government that that consulate is a part of, as an agency of? Can you tell me that?
Negative. I don't know. As I know, they're their own entity. They're operating.
Is it a government?
Negative.
What good does it do you, the paperwork, then?
It does people get good because they're not a functioning government. They're just an entity created, and there's no power structure with it. It's just,
is it even a real entity that's been created? Or is it just some African Americans claiming to be Moorish Americans that's just saying they're a consulate and really ain't even created no real entity in law?
Well, I'll say this. They claim to have a connection to Shalimar Bay, who is a liaison between the White House and the Moors.
Okay, you do know that the White House is closed now, right? And got a fence around it. So what connection do they have? The second thing I'm going to say is Brother Shalimar. What government do he work for?
He works for the United States Corporation, allegedly, and with the consulate, allegedly.
Okay.
Well, he used to be a part of the United States Corporation, and allegedly he's supposed to be, from looking at his webpage and all of that, on his Facebook page, a liaison between the Moors and the president.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Okay.
And he's supposed to have structured the government.
What's the name of the government? What's the name of the government?
Body, right.
Huh?
Shalimar Bay.
I said, what's the name of the government?
I don't remember. You got to go on the website again, but it's something with the Moorish American Consulate. Moorish American Consulate. That's all I know.
Moorish American National Federal Republic.
Right. Okay.
No, like Moorish American National Republic Federal Government.
Right.
That's what it says.
Huh?
Something like that.
Yeah, y'all missed the beginning of this, because then you would know that that's some BS. Bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah.
But the thing is, nobody really want to mess with it because people don't know if he's an agent or not, or something more
again,
this is the word.
And again, why are you looking to mess with an individual if it's a government? It should have more than one individual to mess with. Are you looking to mess with an individual, or are you looking to mess with a government?
No, looking to mess with the government, but I don't think he's moving solo. From what I understand is that they have a government. I'm not defending them either. I'm just saying from what I understand.
But I'm saying, what's the name of the government? And can you show me where I can find that it is an actual government, other than them saying that they are government?
Point of interest. There is no government.
Thank you. I'm wondering how long he gonna keep wrestling with that. No, but you at least say man must be what he know. Man must be what he know. If you don't know that it's a government, why even waste your time? Why even entertain the bullshit? We gotta stop people from doing this. This is stagnating our movement.
Okay.
It's show and prove time. We're in the age of knowing. It's time for people to show and prove. Show and prove, because Cannon Bay gonna bust that law out. Oh, Cannon Bay ain't over there telling me what he believe. He'll get on the screen and get to showing you. He gonna show you.
Let's do it.
I've been doing it all this time since we've been on this call. You can't be a national and a federal government. You can't be a monarchy and a republic. Don't go together. None of it. That's 4 different demonstrations going on, all in the same name. You claim to be the Al-Moorish Moroccan Empire, then you turn back around saying you're a Moorish American national. Which one is it? Are you a subject? Because an emperor don't have citizens. An emperor got subjects. Which one is it?
Repeat that.
An emperor don't have citizens. An emperor do not have citizens. He has subjects. A king does not have citizens. He has subjects. Any monarchy don't have citizens. They have subjects. A republic form of government goes against monarchies. Why in this paperwork is it saying the Al-Moorish Moroccan Empire, which means there's an emperor or empress that's running it? And then it's also saying that it's a republic, which goes against monarchy. Then it's saying it's a national government, which is established through social contract amongst the people. Then it's saying it's a federal government, which is established through, guess what, compact or contract with other sovereign entities and governments. It can't be all these things. It's nonsense. Yeah, I'm finna become the Moorish myth buster. That's what I'm finna do. I'm finna start throwing them all under the bus. Come prove it then. Prove what I'm saying ain't it. Prove what I'm saying wrong. Enough is enough. We got a government, and we need to be perpetuating it for millions of unborn children that's getting ready to come on this earth sooner or later. It's coming through that gateway. And people that steady getting taken advantage of this garbage need to start talking out. Do you care about your children? Put they tail on blast. It's bullshit. We're not dealing with the bullshit no more. Now, all the new people on here that ain't part of this government. Is this is the United States of American Republic, is it a government?
No, not at all.
The United States of American Republic is not a government?
for government than it's a corporate fiction. It's a corporation.
Which government you talking about?
You said United States, right?
United States of America Republic. That's created by the Moorish American people. Is it a government?
Not a real government.
It's not a real government?
The government only corporation, correct?
Okay, let me ask you a question. I want you to show me a government that's not a corporation. Name me one government that's not a corporation. One. Just name me one government that's not a corporation. Anybody?
There isn't a government. There isn't a government that's not a corporation.
Then why do we?
I'm just trying to explain that a government is a corporation, correct?
Exactly. So why do we keep saying it's a corporation? If it's a government, it's a government. Walmart is a corporation. That's why you don't hear them calling their government a corporation, because they know they're a government corporation, which makes them a government. Government is going to supersede the fact that they're a corporate entity, because the type of corporate entity that they are is a government.
Question: this form is for those who are ignorant to certain things to learn, correct? Like to gain knowledge, right?
This form is for the get your ass right form.
I hear you, but if someone's asking a question, because they don't know, or they're just trying to confirm, you know, I don't want you to be upset about that.
No. See, you wasn't on the call. I already made that statement. We want you to ask questions. We don't get mad because you ask questions, and we're going to answer all of your questions. You're going to run out of questions before we get off this call, and if you still got questions, we're not going to get off this call till all of your questions is answered. Now, guess what? When you start going to these other fashions and groups around the country that's calling themselves Moorish, right? The first thing I want you to take notice of is they're not going to answer all your questions. They're going to get irritated. They're going to start getting upset with you. They're going to start deflecting your questions, because guess what? That ain't it.
Yeah, that's great, because I'm sorry, go ahead. I yield. Go ahead.
You ain't got to yield, brother. You got the flow. That's what this for.
Yeah, I think somebody was going to say something. But the reason why I'm saying this is because when we're out there defending ourselves in these duties, federal, state, immigration, whatever the case may be, traffic court, whatever, or whatever the situation is, foreclosures, whatever, and we're speaking up, whether we're presenting ourselves or representing someone or something, we just want to know, we open our mouth and we stand firm on our square that, you know, we know what we're talking about. That's all.
What you doing standing in there talking? What you doing standing in there talking? What you talking about?
I'm saying, if we're in a situation, we're in a battle in court. Let's say we got to go to court.
Why are you in court? Why are you in court? Why are you in court?
You never know. You could be in court because of fraudulent actions of a policy enforcer or public servant.
Okay, so when you go to court, so when you go to court, what's the first thing you do? Matter of fact, just back it up. So the police turn their lights on, right? They pulling you over, right? What's the first thing you do?
First thing you do, you put your phone on record.
That's what you
do. Well, show your hands.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. Okay. No. Listen to me. Because I'm a criminal enforcement officer. I'm telling you now. You want to get shot? Show your goddamn hands. Put that phone on your camera on. Then call your government after everything is clear. Don't start reaching around and get your brains blowing out. Let's be realistic here.
Okay, listen to me. Okay, listen to me. Buy you an extra phone if you want to record the video. Because guess what? They already got video that they recording. They recording it.
Yeah, but
now, hold it. The next thing you should, the first thing you should do is be calling your government, because we're going to be on the phone. Listen. The second thing you should do is turn your inside interior lights on in your car so that they can see clearly in your vehicle. And the third thing you should do is put your hands where they can see them. Did you hear what I said?
Okay, that sounds great. That's a good one. All right.
Okay.
I'm off with that.
So now what they're gonna know is, because you're gonna be talking, and you're gonna be letting them know that you're a Moorish American national, and of course your driver's license is gonna illustrate that you're not under them, but you're part of a different government than what they're a part of, and you're gonna be letting them know that you're a Moorish American national, and okay, can I help you, officer? He gonna say, yeah, can I see your driver's license? You're gonna give him your driver's license. He gonna look at that, he gonna say, you got a vehicle registration? You're gonna give him your vehicle registration. That say United States American Republic too, but guess what? The license plate say United States American Republic too. So now, not only do your license plate say United States American Republic, but your vehicle registration say United States American Republic, and so does your driver's license say United States American Republic. So guess what? He could be an asshole, want to take you to jail. Who the fuck cares? Go to jail. Guess what? The police job is to lock people ass up. They not the judge. They don't know no law. All they know is codes and enforcement. That's their job. Code and enforcement. You don't have to argue with them on the side of the road. Don't get all bent out of shape and frustrated, because guess what? He finna pay, you finna make you some money. And you should be saying, when he walk up to you and you done gave him all that and he say he finna place you under arrest, this is what I want you to say to him. Ching ching. You know what that is? That's the cash register draw. Ching ching. Because guess what? If you got a valid driver's license, now unless you're doing something else that you ain't supposed to be doing, now that's something different. I ain't going to tell you ching ching. Because you shouldn't be out doing nothing you ain't got no business doing. But if the issue is your plate, your driver's license, and your vehicle registration, ching ching, you're going to get paid. All you got to do is sue. We gon' win in court every time. Every time. Not sometime. Every time. So, now that he done gave you tickets, did whatever he did, now what's the next thing you do? Before you go to court, what do you do? What's the next thing?
You make sure you get your paperwork in there within 72 hours. If you're going to do with them.
You get what paperwork where within 72 hours?
If you get your ticket, and when you respond physically or on paper, have that paperwork in there within 72 hours under special appearance.
Okay.
And make sure that the venue that you're dealing with is a common law venue. If not, you do a removal, removing it from that lower venue to a common law venue.
Okay.
Whether federal or DC Supreme Court.
You cannot remove a criminal case from the state to federal. That's a big mistake everybody make. You never do it. The state have jurisdiction over all criminal cases. There is no federal common law criminal. Criminal common law.
No, the Supreme Court in DC, the common law court in DC.
No, you're missing what I just said. You're missing again what I just said. Listen to me closely. The states have common law criminal jurisdiction. The federal government has no common law criminal jurisdiction whatsoever. You will never remove a criminal case from the state to the federal. You would never do it. You would never do it.
Brother, I'm going to say this, no disrespect. I moved a traffic case to the federal court. That's what I'm dealing with right now.
Where you at?
I got a sergeant.
What state that's in?
Hold on.
I'm just asking you a question. What state that's in?
And I got a sergeant fired last year, stripped of his pension, NYPD. I got all his guns taken from him. He can never carry a gun or get a permit or license in the state of New York again. Alright? And they did everything except for lock him up. Now I'm about to lean him up. It's not as well as shit. Okay, because he slandered me, and he had FBI at my door and ATF, all because I'm a Moor, and he didn't like, he was being biased. He's Dominican, he was in Queens, and my paperwork was reinstated for his ass, and he's toast. Now I'm going to his boy on paper. Okay?
So what happened to the case? So what happened to the case?
The case, they dismissed it and I appealed it. So it's an appeal status right now. Because what they're doing now,
wait,
the magistrate judge...
Stop. Hey, slow down. Let's go slow. They dismissed the case.
And I appealed it. So it's appealed right now. So I'll be moving to that next month.
Okay, wait a minute. Slow down. What's the appeal? What's the purpose of the appeal?
The appeal is they violated the oath of office. They violated my security treaty rights and constitutional rights over a traffic infraction that wasn't even an infraction. The cop went in my car.
Okay, stop.
And written a ticket for no inspection.
Stop. If they dismiss the case, what is it to appeal?
Excuse me?
If they dismiss the case, what is it to appeal?
It's to appeal the case so that I can fight it, take it to trial. They don't want me to take it to trial. So I appealed it. And you have a right to appeal it.
Okay.
And
wait.
They have not rebutted my affidavit on the record. National law says...
Wait a minute, bro. You're going too fast. Go slow. You're not listening to yourself talking. I'm listening. If they dismiss the case in the state, right?
State. No, it was a traffic case, and I moved it to federal.
Where did they dismiss the case at? State or federal?
They dismissed it in federal, and I appealed it in federal. Because my initial mistake was I didn't file a case under federal question. I did it under principles as a 14th Amendment, not knowing I did it as a 14th Amendment.
Okay, so when you appealed the case to federal, you appealed it to federal, right?
Yes, I appealed it to, actually, I appealed it to Court of Appeals, the Second Circuit, United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit.
Okay. So the state did whatever they did, then you appealed that to the federal, then the federal threw it out.
They threw it out, and I appealed.
Okay. So what was the state's ruling?
It wasn't in the state court, it was in traffic court. I mean, it was unusual because I immediately took it to federal.
Okay, so it was in traffic court.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you saying you immediately removed it to what's
federal?
Federal. Okay, so now listen to what I'm finna tell you. Stop. Is a traffic ticket case criminal or civil, brother? Is a traffic ticket case civil or federal? Remember, a traffic ticket is a civil suit. That's what a traffic ticket is. It's civil. You can remove that traffic ticket case because if they didn't charge you with a felony and make it criminal, if they just simply wrote you traffic tickets, then it's a civil case which you could remove from the state to the federal. That's why I'm telling you, you gotta go slow. See, I be wanting to make sure y'all understand and listen to what you're saying, cause I listen real good, cause I work like a judge work. I'm methodical with my listening. Okay, I said you cannot remove a criminal case to federal because there is no common law federal criminal jurisdiction. All the jurisdiction of the district court is listed in subsection 13 whatever, 1330 or 13 whatever through 13 whatever in the Title 28 USC Rules of Civil Procedure. It's going to give you all the places where the district court got jurisdiction. Nowhere in it will you find where it says that that court has a criminal jurisdiction. In the entire place where it's the jurisdictions of the district court.
So you're saying if a Moor is charged with a criminal offense, and that Moor says, hey, I'm going to do a writ of removal and move it to a federal venue, you telling me he can't do it?
No.
He cannot do it?
Cannot do it. They would not, the federal court is not going to accept it because, again, the states deal with criminality. Now, let me give you a real good example. You can never, ever in your life find a case where the federal government charged somebody with murder. Know what you can find? Them charging them with conspiracy to commit murder. But murder is a criminal case that falls under state jurisdiction. Let me say it one more time. The federal government, you would never find a case where they charged anybody for murder. They will charge them with conspiracy to commit murder, but not actual murder, because they don't have common law criminal jurisdiction. The states deal with criminality. That's under the states. That's the state's job. When you read the Constitution of the United States, you're going to see that. There wasn't no power delegated to the federal courts or to the federal government to deal with criminality. All power delegated to them was to deal with what? Interstate commerce. And the other things that the power to naturalize. The power to coin money and keep an army. You know, all the stuff that they got in the Constitution is telling you what they can do and what they can't do. Okay?
I heard that before, brother, but I didn't. I hear you. You do some more homework, that's what I'm going to do.
He'll be right back. He just stepped away from the mic.
Okay. That was somebody at the door. Okay. So now, after you got these tickets and whatever happened, then what you should be doing is taking those tickets and whatever they gave you, the bond slip, all that stuff, you should be scanning it in and sending it in to the government within 24 hours.
When you say sending it to the government, what government body are you talking? What area of the government are you talking about?
If you're part of the United States of American Republic and you're a Moorish American national, you will send it in to the United States of American Republic national government.
Okay.
And then the government, before you go to court, the government will get give you a special appearance that you will file in court, because see, your special appearance as an individual and a special appearance letting the court know that you're a Moorish American national part of a government is two different types of special appearances. Do you understand what I just said? See, if you part of a foreign nation, then that nation got to show up in court. Now, not necessarily meaning that some individuals need to walk in the courtroom, but everything in the courtroom is all paper anyway. I said it earlier tonight. Corporations can only hear paper. Okay? It's all administrative anyway. So the government shows up in the courtroom with you, file the paperwork file, and you know what to say, because we're going to tell you what to say. And the biggest thing you're going to say, because we're going to also file your national constitution on the record. So the only thing you ever will say in the courtroom is they violated my constitutional rights. under my state constitution. And the judge have to uphold your constitution. Real simple. We ain't got to make this no big, long, dragged out thing. I got a constitution. I'm a national citizen. I'm not a resident of New York. And therefore I do not fall under the statutes, codes, or whatever ordinances, or whatever the state of New York or city of New York got. And you know what I'm saying? This we gonna wrap this up real good. Real simple. What county you stay in?
Orange County.
Orange County?
Yep.
Who do Orange County judges have jurisdiction over?
It's citizens. It's not citizens.
No.
Not more citizens.
Who do they have jurisdiction over?
Your citizens.
They have jurisdictions over Orange County residents.
Right.
Orange County residents.
Right.
Where do the jurisdiction of the county begin and end at? Where does the jurisdiction of the county begin and end at?
Right here in Orange County.
Where's that?
That's in New York.
Where does the jurisdiction, if it's in New York, where do New York jurisdiction begin then?
New York jurisdiction is in New York.
So the county jurisdiction is New York, and the city and New York City jurisdiction is New York? How? How can both of them have the same jurisdiction?
Every county is its own county, its own jurisdiction. But the state of New York,
the state of New York had its own jurisdiction too, right?
Right.
Okay, so how many governments is in that state? You got the state government.
There's a lot.
No,
there's a lot. There's a lot of governments in the state of New York.
Look, listen to me. We ain't got to go into all the governments. Listen to me. This is what I'm saying. You got state government, you got county government, and you got the municipal government, right? So that's three different governments, right? All where?
Right.
New York, right? Tell me where each one of those jurisdictions begin and end at for those governments.
Right there in their county, or in their state, or in their city, or in their town, or in their village.
Where is the jurisdictional boundaries of the county government?
I'm like, do you understand that question? Because
okay, let me explain it to you.
Hold on. The county government jurisdiction would be in that particular county. That's it.
Okay, but how you know where the fuck it is if you don't know the jurisdiction of it? How do you know they operating outside their jurisdiction if you don't know it? You
understand? I operate outside the jurisdiction and they try to hammer me, and I know I'm not part of it. I'm
not talking about you right now. I'm not talking about you right now. I'm not talking about you right now. Listen to what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the county and you knowing the county's jurisdiction. Because if you don't know the county jurisdiction, you don't know when they operating outside of county jurisdiction. You're just saying, oh, they operating outside of because I'm a Moor and da-da-da-da-da. But guess what? Do you have your nationality? Because you just said talking about a consulate, and the consulate that you're talking about can't even confer nationality on you. So right now, all you is Moorish conscious. You have no nationality.
I understand what you're saying, and I wasn't elected. I was not defending the consulate. I was being inquisitive about the consulate because I was trying to find out what's your take, your understanding of the consulate.
Okay, so
I'm not defending the consulate.
No, I didn't say you was, brother. So let me ask you this question then. Where you get your nationality from?
My nationality comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High.
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar.
Yeah.
I'm a Moorish American.
Do you follow?
This is Al Malak from the group I work for.
Okay, let's go slow, brother, so you can learn. So, do you follow the Prophet Noble Ali?
Do I follow what?
The Holy Prophet Noble Ali.
I follow him. I follow the Prophet Muhammad, Yahshua, Adam, Noah, Confucius, everybody.
Let's go slow, brother. Let's go slow. I'm only going to deal with the Prophet because he the one that spoke my tongue that came from where I come from, right? So I'm dealing with the Prophet that was sent for me, that spoke my tongue in the land that I come from. Okay? So Noble Drew Ali say that we lost our nationality in 1774. So my question to you is, how did you get yours back?
I got mine by proclaiming it on the record, letting the world know who I am.
Okay, so you proclaimed it. How did you proclaim it?
By following various documents such as the judicial proclamation and putting it out to every government head, IRS, DMV, the sheriff, the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the President, the Governor,
I'm finna read something to you. Listen, I'm finna read something to you. And I want you to listen very close. This is a Supreme Court case. I want you to listen very close. Because right now, you just Moorish conscious. You don't have no nationality. You still a 14th Amendment citizen. Believe me when I tell you.
I'm not Moorish Consulate. I'm not Moorish Consulate.
I said
I'm
conscious. Conscious.
Okay.
Okay. Now stay with me. Stay with me. Okay. Let me blow it up. Are you screen sharing where you can see my screen? If you ain't, don't worry about it. I'm going to read it to you. Okay. Listen to me close. Procedural posture. Defendant appealed an order of the Circuit Court of the United States for the District of Minnesota that denied defendant's motion to dismiss for want of jurisdiction in federal court. Defendant's motion to dismiss for want of jurisdiction was denied where defendant was not a United States citizen due to his failure to comply with the statutory requirements. Overview. Defendant filed a motion to dismiss for want of jurisdiction in federal court alleging he was a citizen of the United States. The court affirmed the denial of the motion. The court held defendant was not a United States citizen because he failed to comply with the statutory procedures dictated by Congress. The court held defendant's intent and the taxation to become a citizen were not enough if the rest of the statutory requirements were not met. The court also held that despite any benefits and rights conferred, listen to that word, or rights conferred on defendant by the state in which he resided, the state did not have the authority to grant United States citizenship. Outcome. The court affirmed the denial of the defendant's motion to dismiss for want of jurisdiction because defendant was not a United States citizen. Every person at his birth is presumptively a citizen or subject of the state of his nativity. And whereas in the case at bar, his parents were then both subjects of that state, the presumption is conclusive. To the land of his birth he owes support and allegiance, and from it he is entitled to the civil and political rights and privileges of a citizen or subject. This relation imposed by birth is presumed to continue until a change of nationality is proved. Stop. Where did you prove the change of nationality? Because you filed some proclamations and you did a public announcement by sending notices to people that you are a Moorish American.
When God could do this out, I went down to Social Security.
Listen. I need for you to listen real close to my question. I ain't asked you what documents you sent. I ain't asked you who you sent documents to. The question is, how did you prove a change of nationality? Proved. Because serving notice, serving declarations, serving proclamations, proclaiming is not proving. You understand?
Okay.
You with me?
I'm ignorant to that. So you gotta show me. You gotta tell me.
I'm gonna show you. But are you with me so far?
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Okay. Now watch. I'm finna prove it to you. A change of nationality cannot be made by the individual at will. Let me read it one more time. A change of nationality cannot be made by the individual at will. Each nation has the right to refuse to grant the rights and privileges of citizenship to all persons not born upon its soil, and if it determines to admit them to those rights and privileges, it may fix the terms on which they shall be conferred upon them. Okay? A state may confer on foreign citizens or subjects all the rights and privileges it has the power to bestow, but when it has done all of this, it has not naturalized them. They are foreign citizens or subjects still, within the meaning of the Constitution and laws of the United States, and the jurisdiction of the federal courts over controversies between them and citizens of the states is neither enlarged nor restricted by the acts of the state. The power to naturalize foreign subjects or citizens was one of the powers expressly granted by the states to the national government. And in this case, we know it's not the national government, but the federal government. A foreign-born resident who has not been naturalized according to the acts of Congress is not a citizen of the United States or of a state within the definition given by the U.S. Constitution Amendment 14, but remains a foreign subject or citizen, and any controversy between him and a citizen of a state which involves a sufficient amount is thus clearly within the jurisdiction of the circuit courts. That's county for those that don't know. Under any fair construction of the Constitution and laws of the United States, the circuit court for the District of Minnesota held that a state could not make the subject of a foreign government a citizen of the United States, and that a resident of Minnesota who was born a subject of the Grand Duke of Mecklenburg had declared his intention to become a citizen of the United States many years before he bought his suit, had resided in the state of Minnesota for 15 years, had several times voted at elections held in that state, where the Constitution of the state authorizes such residents to do so without naturalization, but had never applied to be or been admitted to citizenship under the federal naturalization laws, was still an alien and a subject of the Grand Duke of Mecklenburg. This decision has been followed by courts and acquiesced in by the profession. It is now vigorously challenged by counsel for plaintiff in error. Okay, now listen closely. Section 2, Article 3 of the Constitution of the United States provides that the judicial power of the nation shall extend to controversies between a state or citizens thereof and foreign state citizens or subjects, and the acts of Congress of March 3rd, 1887, 24 Stat 552, and of August 13, 1888, 25 Stat 433 confer jurisdiction of all these controversies in cases involving over $2,000 upon the circuit courts. That's the county courts again. Every person at his birth is presumptively a citizen or subject of the state of his nativity. And whereas in the case at bar, his parents were then both subjects of that state, the presumption is conclusive. To the land of his birth he owes support and allegiance, and from it he is entitled to the civil and political rights and privileges of a citizen or subject. This relation imposed by birth is presumed to continue until a until a change of nationality is proved. A change of nationality cannot be made by the individual at will. Each nation has the right to refuse to grant the rights and privileges of citizenship to all persons not born upon its soil, and if it determines to admit them to those rights and privileges, it may fix the terms on which they shall be conferred upon them. To naturalization is the admission of a foreign subject or citizen into the political body of a nation, and the bestowal upon him of the equality of a citizen or subject. The 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States provides that all persons born or naturalized in the United States, here's the key, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. As the plaintiff was born in the kingdom of Saxony, of parents who at the time of his birth were subjects of the king of Saxony, he is not a citizen of the United States unless he has been naturalized therein. The United States, in the exercise of their undoubted right, have prescribed the conditions upon compliance with which an alien may become a citizen of this nation. The Act of Congress of April 14, 1802 provides that an alien may be admitted to become a citizen of the United States in the following manner, and not otherwise. First, he shall 2 years at least prior to admission declare before a proper court his intention to become a citizen of the United States, and to renounce his allegiance to the potentate or sovereignty of which he may be at the time a citizen or subject. Second, he shall at the time of his application to be admitted declare on oath before someone of the courts above specified that he will support the Constitution of the United States, and that he absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to every foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, and particularly by name. So he would need to say, I renounce any and all allegiance to the Grand Duke of Mecklenburg, and he would have to say the Grand Duke of Mecklenburg name, by name, okay? To the prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty of which he was before a citizen or subject, which proceedings shall be recorded by the clerk of the court. Third, it shall be made to appear to the satisfaction of the court admitting such alien that he has resided within the United States 5 years at least, and within the state or territory where such court is at the time held 1 year at least, and that during that time he has behaved as a man of a good moral character, attached to the principles of the Constitution of the United States, and well disposed to the good order and happiness of the same. But the oath of the applicant shall in no case be allowed to prove his residence.
Point of interest.
You got the flow.
Is this the same process a foreigner would have to take if they wanted to become like a United States politician?
No. Anybody, this is dealing with citizenship and nationality law. We're not dealing with politics and politicians. We're dealing with citizenship.
If a foreigner wanted to have like dual citizenship with the U.S., is this something that they would have to do too?
In order to have United States citizenship, they must follow the steps that Congress has legislated in the law. That's what I just read. You cannot do anything, definitely can't hold a seat or office in the United States government, and you're not a United States citizen.
Okay, so it's literally the same thing. Okay.
You lost me. Okay. If it makes sense to you, then good. Okay. One, there is no other provision of the acts of Congress under which this plaintiff could have been naturalized. The counsel for plaintiff in error, however, alleges that he became a citizen of the United States. One, because at the time he declared his intention to do so, he might have been admitted to citizenship under the provisions of Section 2167. Because various acts of Congress have conferred certain privileges, and some have conferred all the privileges of a citizen upon foreign-born residents who had declared their intention to become citizens. And three, because the state of Minnesota has granted to such residents practically all the privileges of citizenship in its power to bestow. Before this plaintiff could become a naturalized citizen, the contract of allegiance and protection that the relation of a citizen to his nation implies must be made between him and the United States. The United States have prescribed the conditions under which such an alien may make this contract, the place where and the manner in which it shall be made, and have declared that it can be made on those conditions and in that manner and not otherwise. Revised Statute 2165. The conditions are that he shall declare on oath that he will support the Constitution, that he does renounce all allegiance to every foreign prince, potent estate, or sovereignty, and particularly to that one of which he was a subject, that it shall be made to appear to the court that he has resided in the United States 5 years, and in the state where the court is held 1 year, that he has behaved as a man of good moral character during all of this time, attached to the principles of the Constitution of the United States, and well disposed to the good order and happiness of the same. The place where these conditions must be complied with is in one of the courts of record named in the Acts of Congress, and the method by which the contract is to be made is by plenary proof to that court of a compliance with these conditions, which must be evidenced by its judgment. The plaintiff has complied with none of these terms. He has not even applied to any court to be admitted to citizenship. He has not consented to become a citizen of the United States on the terms they offer to him or on any terms, but he still insists he is not a citizen and that he is still a subject of the King of Saxony. On the other hand, the United States have not consented to accept the plaintiff as a citizen on any terms, much less to waive all the essential conditions without a compliance with which Congress has declared an alien cannot be naturalized. The minds of both parties must meet to make a contract, and where neither party consents, there can surely be no agreement. So when individuals are sending paperwork everywhere, there is no agreement. There is no meeting of the mind between you and all these individual entities and agencies and officers of the United States District Court, the state agencies, the federal agencies that you're sending all these documents. You have no agreement. You have no consent. You have no meeting of the mind, and therefore you still have no nationality or citizenship. Okay? Now listen close. That the plaintiff on October 25th, 1890 had resided in Minnesota as a boy and man long enough to qualify him to become a citizen under Section 2167 is not material. The conclusive answer to the argument here urged is that the declaration of an intention to enter into a new relationship for which parties are qualified does not establish the relationship. When you do a declaration of nationality saying that you are more, it does not establish the relationship between you and the state that you're saying that you got nationality of. There must be a meeting of the mind. Nationality is what? A legal agreement or a legal contract between the individual seeking citizenship and the state conferring it. Okay? A man and woman who declare their intention to be married at some future time do not thereby become husband and wife. On the other hand, a declaration of an intention to enter into a relation, or to do an act at some future time is very persuasive evidence that the relation was not entered upon, and the act was not done at the time the declaration was made. It must be borne in mind that the only effect of Section 2167 was to relieve the plaintiff from waiting 2 years after filing his declaration before being admitted to citizenship. That section expressly provides that in all other respects he shall comply with the laws in regard to naturalization. The plaintiff's declaration on October 25th, 1890, when he was qualified to be naturalized, that he intended at some future time to become a citizen, coupled with the fact that he did not then apply to be admitted to citizenship, nor comply with any of the conditions prescribed by law for his naturalization, compels the conclusion that he did not then denationalize himself, but that he still remained a foreign subject. Foreign subject or citizen, and any controversy between him and a citizen of a state which involves a sufficient amount is thus clearly within the jurisdiction of the circuit courts, under any fair construction of the Constitution and laws of the United States. The jurisdiction thus conferred, it is not in the power of any state by its legislative or other action to take away, restrict, or enlarge, and the action of the state of Minnesota regarding the citizenship of the plaintiff was not material in this case. The result is that the power granted to Congress by Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution of the United States to establish a uniform rule of naturalization is exclusive, and the naturalization laws enacted by Congress in the exercise of this power constitute the only rule by which a foreign subject may become a citizen of the United States or of a state. Within the meaning of the federal Constitution and laws, it is not in the power of a state to denationalize a foreign subject who has not complied with the federal naturalization laws and constitute him a citizen of the United States or of a state, so as to deprive the federal courts of jurisdiction over a controversy between him and a citizen of a state conferred upon them by Article 3, Section 2 of the Constitution of the United States and the acts of Congress. A foreign subject who is qualified to become a citizen of the United States under Section 2167 of the revised statutes does not become such by filing his declaration of intention so to do. That section requires that he shall renounce allegiance to the sovereignty of which he is a subject, take the oath of allegiance to the United States, and comply with other conditions prescribed in the second and third paragraphs of Section 2165 of the revised statutes in order to become naturalized. And until he does so, he remains a foreign subject. The court below was right in denying the motion to dismiss this action for want of jurisdiction, and the judgment below is affirmed with cause. Islam, I don't want anybody on this call to be mistaken or be tricked into thinking that these people is conferring nationality on you. They have no power to do so. They have no government. They are not the United States government. They can't even confer United States nationality on you. They cannot confer the nationality of one of these state governments on you. Okay? Stop saying that you part of the Illinois Republic or the Texas Republic, because they have not given you any citizenship. Okay? They have not conferred any citizenship on you. You are a resident of that state. And that state has already legislated in its laws that that's all you will ever be if you are of so-called African descent, or if you are a Moorish American. You can never be a citizen under no union state or several states or the federal United States government, because you are not an immigrant. A United States citizen is a immigrant who immigrates here from another country. He's an alien that came here, that used to be a subject under some foreign emperor, sultan, king, queen, etc. This is our country. We are in our country. This is the whole reason they created the 14th Amendment. And again, pay close attention about proving nationality. Because guess what? I can walk you through the process to show you that when you join this government, not only will you have citizenship, but you will have your Moorish American nationality, according to the law that we have written as a nation on how you will receive your nationality back, and how this government will confer it back on you. But guess what? You must meet everything that our laws say in order for you to regain that which you have lost. Islam, I yield the floor.
Islam.
You got the floor.
Exactly what you're talking about is what the Europeans basically tell to do. This is what we need to do to beat them to the punch and take charge.
What you need to do is what they told you to do, which is partly of what this is talking about. You notice they're talking about allegiance and renouncing allegiance, right? So if you look up the Expatriation Act, okay, it says you're renouncing allegiance or expatriating your citizenship. See, we don't have a citizenship to expatriate. So when we do it, what we do is renounce our allegiance. We renounce our allegiance to the United States. We renounce our allegiance to the state governments. What you do is exactly what Aliens and Immigration Act tell you to do. When you take an oath of allegiance to a foreign government, you commit an act of expatriation. You're now repatriating back to your government, which lines up with what Noble Drew Ali teach. You must do what? Proclaim your free national name to be recognized by the government in which you live in. He don't tell you to proclaim shit. He said you got to do it in the government and be recognized by the government in which you live. So if you're still living in the state's government, talking about you part of that republic, because the republic of the state of New York or any other state is the natural people there, but those natural people in that republic created a government entity called the state of to interact in commerce on their behalf. So when it's talking about the people of the state of, the people is those people of that republic, because all of the states are a republic. Don't get it twisted. You are not part of those republic governments. You are part of the national republic because you are the national citizen. Islam?
Islam.
I can't explain this thing no simpler and make it no clearer to anybody.
Islam.
And anybody that want to argue this, they can feel free to step up and try to, but I guarantee you they won't defeat it. Because even Aliens and Immigration Act is going to tell you, you must do this with the intent to relinquish United States citizenship. And if you don't do it showing the intention to relinquish the United States citizenship, then guess what? The presumption is still that you are a United States citizen. Period. And the only way to do that, they're telling you, you must do it according to the law. Just like they're telling you here, if you want to be a United States citizen, you got to do it according to how the law is legislated for you to do it. They're telling you the same thing over there. If you're not a United States citizen, you must do it according to the way the law has been set up by Congress for you to relinquish or renounce your allegiance to the United States. Other than that, the presumption role that you are a United States citizen until you could prove your change of nationality. Listen to the language. If you're part of a real government, every government is foreign to every other government. Each state is a foreign government to each other. Who don't know that? Each state is like its own country. The state of Illinois is considered to be like a country. The state of Indiana is considered to be like a country. And those two states can go to war with one another. The state of Indiana got individuals that got allegiance to the state of Indiana. The state of Illinois got citizens that got allegiance to the state of Illinois. The state of Illinois and the state of Indiana, since they got allegiance and since they do have a compact or contract called the Articles of Confederation, in which that all the Midwest states entered into that compact and that contractual agreement before they became part of the Union States and joined the United States, those states can come together and go to war with the United States government if they want to. Their first allegiance being citizens of the states, not the United States, but of the states. Their first allegiance is to their state constitution, then to the United States Constitution. And this government right here, guess what? Your first allegiance is to the Constitution of the United States of America Republic, and then to the United States Constitution, and then to the United States Constitution. Your rights for you are secured not by the United States Constitution or the Illinois Republic Constitution, but your free national constitution with your free national name in it saying Moorish American. That's showing that that government has did what? Recognized you as what? Moorish American. If you take an oath of allegiance to this government, we now recognize you and confer the nationality of being a Moorish American, and we will protect you, and you got certain protections under the laws of this state and the Constitution of this state. And the laws and Constitution of this state is created by who? Moorish American people of the Moorish American society who joined themselves together to form themselves into an independent nation state called the United States of America Republic. Read the preamble, goddammit. Why is we having so many problems unifying across this country? I order y'all, being the president of the United States of America Republic, if you claiming to be a Moorish American, I'm ordering your ass to start standing on these people goddamn neck that's out here pushing this bullshit. Enough is a fucking enough. Make these Moors show and prove that they're a fucking government. If they can't show you that shit, put their ass on blast. That's the only way we finna start making ground, y'all. It's time for people to, guess what? Get down or lay down. This simple. This simple. Okay? So yes, stand on our business if we care about our children. Yes, leave our children their own government, so that they're not being molested by alien nation and foreigners in their land and foreign occupiers. Okay? This shit is serious. It's not a game. And anybody claiming to be any type of Moorish official or Moorish government or Moorish, any type of Moorish corporate body politic, whatever it is, if they won't get on this platform and just talk about it and show the law on it, then what are they doing? They must be about themselves, trying to make some money and trying to fleece the people. Because if you're about the people, then where you ain't at the goddamn table, having your voice heard and proving your fucking point. Islam?
Islam.
I give the floor. Any more questions?
Alright, so how do you correct this process, these processes that a lot of problems have been into, which you said is probably not going to be recognized? How do you correct this stuff? Because apparently there's a lot of more out here, and there's a lot of them that are saying they have actually declared nationalities that really haven't. Is that what you're saying? And if so, they're legitimate. I mean, so basically it's rare to get it. It's rare to get it right.
It's not rare to get it right if you're dealing with a government. We have laws legislated that's been in the public for the last 6 years, where you can go read our Aliens and Immigration Act and our laws on, guess what, nationality under this government.
Right. Yeah,
it's written.
I listen with you. Right, I got that.
You
so
feel?
How do we correct this? How do we correct this?
Okay, let me ask you a question. Listen to this question. Your car need a starter. You bought an alternator. Can you correct it, or do you need to start over and go get a damn starter?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Gotta go get the starter.
So that means you need to scrap all that other shit because it ain't right. Ain't no correcting it. The way you correct it is just start doing what the law say and tell you to do. You must join your government.
Right.
Like Nobuju Ali said, those that do not recognize the Constitution of their free national government will be classified as undesirables.
Right.
Follow your prophet. The prophet will not lead you wrong. I'm telling you. Me and the prophet got something special going on. A lot of people don't believe it, but hey, that's on them. He already said I could count the people that's going to be saved on one hand and have fingers left over. You feel me? You're going to have fingers left over. I follow the prophet Nobuju Ali every footstep. I do not stray. I'm going to enforce the law. I didn't come here to abolish the prophet. I did not come here to do that. Or the law, but to fulfill. And I'm going to fulfill it. Believe that. I'm going to fulfill it. Moors across the land, they either going to stop transgressing against the law. They're going to line up to the law, and we're going to move forward. If they keep transgressing against the law, they're going in the fire. They're going in that fire. Period. So everybody on this call, you need to go to usar.gov.us and get your welcome pack and fill out for your application for citizenship and the welcome pack. Guess what? It costs you $0. Don't cost you nothing. We not charging you for the seals. We a government. That's a government supposed to have seals. We don't charge you for that. We don't charge you for nationality. Guess why? You can't put a price on allegiance.
Right.
Loyalty and allegiance is priceless.
Right.
You know what allegiance and loyalty do? It's 1 million of us in this government. We say, hey, everybody give $1. Guess what? We got $1 million now.
Absolutely.
This thing too simple. My business gonna stay open. You know why? Even though I charge $1 for a can of pop and all these other stores charge 50 cents, you will ride from the south side to the west side and come to my store and spend that $1 and get that pop before you give it to them. Because you know I'm gonna take that $1 and come spend it right back with you. And you gonna take it and go spend it with my wife. And my wife gonna take it and come spend it with your wife. And your wife gonna take it and go spend it with my son. And it's gonna stay in this community as long as we can keep it here.
I feel you on that.
This thing not hard, man. You got a lot of people that want to be leaders and want to be the leader guy and want to be in charge and don't know how. Don't know the law. Don't know where they leading you to. Don't have a real solid plan. Can't tell you how nationality conferred. If you ask them, they want to get in their feelings. Why would you even want to follow somebody that's supposed to be helping people with their nationality, claiming to be a government? What you getting in your feelings for? You the one that decided that you was going to be a public official. And so your job is to serve me, sir. I got questions. Are you really conferring nationality? What's the name of the government? Hey, where the paperwork at? Where your laws at? Why they can't answer these questions? What you getting mad for? You the one said you a government. You the one on YouTube and Facebook putting all this information out like you in charge and like you know what you doing. So don't get mad when I start asking you these questions.
It's long. It's long. It's long.
Okay, so let's do what the prophet said. Let's start exercising our 5 senses. Let's start thinking again and we can save ourselves. And yes, stop letting people tell the rest of the Moorish community bullshit when we done went through it and when we done did all of that and see that it still don't work and that's not it. We got to start putting them on blast.
Preach that shit, Fred. Preach it.
It's long.
Preach it night.
Because I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
I'm with you.
It's our time is right now. Our time is right now. The faster we get the people unified together under one body, the faster we finna move. It's over. It's over.
Oh.
All these people talking about their corporate body politic, tell them to prove it. Show me in the law that you're a government, sir. We're a corporate body politic. See right here, corporate body politic is an organization of people gathered together for political da-da-da. We on political woo-woo-woo. Yeah? What's political rights? Guess what they don't realize? Political rights is the right to self-determination. In order to have a right to self-determination, the right to self-determination means you got the right to self-govern. If you're not a government, then you're not a corporate body of politics. You got the floor.
Can you go back and explain?
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you go back and explain, because earlier you was trying to explain to the brother that was talking, how do you know if they are outside of their jurisdiction? And you was trying to ask him where.
Oh, yeah. I didn't finish that. Good catch, sis. Good catch. Okay. Let me explain to y'all. County jurisdiction, and this is all across the country. County jurisdiction is outside of any incorporated area. County jurisdiction is outside of any incorporated area, meaning all of the cities and municipalities are incorporated. County jurisdiction lies outside of the incorporated jurisdiction of the municipality. Therefore, county jurisdiction is only within unincorporated areas within the state. So, if you know that and understand it, if the police stop you, he said you was in that city, in that municipal jurisdiction, he wrote you tickets, they send you to the county. Why is the county in your business? The county jurisdiction is outside of any incorporated area. So, who jurisdiction are you under? Were you under the municipal jurisdiction or under the county jurisdiction? See, the problem that our people don't understand is the reason the municipal jurisdiction turn you over to the county is because you are a federal ward who the county has been given the power as the guardian over you. And that's why the municipal jurisdiction turn you over to the county for the county to adjudicate you and enforce and act as an agent to enforce state laws on you. Islam?
Wow.
Islam.
This is why it is extremely important for us to get our government rolling. It's extremely important for everybody on this call to be active in their government. Don't just join it and then fall to the wayside. Get active. Get in a seat and be active. Learn how to run your government. Your participation in your government is going to determine how much interaction that you're going to have in the government. Guess what? If we ain't calling you as government officials, guess what? That means because you ain't doing shit. The government officials that's working is calling other government officials that's working because guess what? They're fucking working. They're doing shit. So we talk to each other all the time because we're interacting, because we're administrating. If you're not administrating your government, then you're not active in your government, and therefore we're not calling you every other day or talking to you, and you're not worked into the rotation of the administration. Simple.
Point of interest.
You got the floor.
Let's say we have no idea how to perform in the government and never held a position in the government or like Secretary of State. How do we fall?
The Secretary of State has his own calls. They have meetings, and you go to the Secretary of State meeting, and in that meeting, our Secretary of State is going to start teaching you how to be a Secretary of State. Now, you also don't have to wait for him. Go on YouTube and look up Secretary of State's talking. Listen to Secretary of States of different governments and nations talking, and you'll begin to learn how to talk like a Secretary of State. Then, don't stop there. Go to my girlfriend, Google, ask her what are the job duties and functions of the Secretary of State. She'll give you a whole list of shit so you can read it and start familiarizing yourself with what a Secretary of State does. That's the beginning of it.
That's all.
Ain't nothing you can't do. Ain't nothing you can't do. All you got to do is apply yourself. Now what we need to do is just learn to be very discretionary with what we're learning. Don't waste a lot of time learning things that don't change the reality. It's time to learn the things that actually change the reality. And the thing that actually changed the reality is you learning how to run your government. Because your government changes the reality not just for us as being Moorish American people, but it changes it for the colonists that's here in our country, because they no longer can act under presumption when dealing with you. Therefore, the whole society changes now. Islam?
Islam.
Any more questions?
What answers?
You got the floor.
Okay, so for someone who, like, I guess they're completely new to all this administrating and governing, like, how will that person know exactly what their strengths are? That way they know what seat they need to take. Because it's obvious that you're in a good position to be a president, just by the way you speak and the laws that you know and how you're able to explain to people. But for someone who is fairly new or pivot, how do we know where we sit or where we stand?
Well, again, don't worry about that. Put your training wheels on and just dive in head first. Guess what? I wasn't worried about, well, I don't know how to be no president. I ain't never been no president of no nation and no country. God say, hey, homie. I say, yeah. He say, you the president. You think you gonna tell God no? So if you join this government, you just became a minister of the one most high. And guess what? You need to learn your job. Guess what? I will help you learn your job depending on what seat you take. I'm going to help you. There's other people in the government that's been in the government for 6 years now. They will help you in certain fields. Sister Nanana, the marshals have their meetings. Okay? The executive branch, we used to have meetings. We finna start having meetings again. I would be having meetings with attorney generals. The attorney generals would be learning how to execute on behalf of this nation to protect the lives and property of the people. Period. If you're going to be a judge, guess what? Turn on YouTube and start watching judge shows. Watch Judge Maybelline, Judge Mathis, Judge Ross, Judge what's his name? The brother, Judge Joe Brown, Judge Christina Milian. Start watching all these judge shows, and that's gonna start training your perception and your thinking of how to be a judge, how to ask questions in the court, how to get order in your court, etc., etc. Not only can you watch those judge shows, you could Google up actual court cases now and watch the judge in those court cases. Guess what? You're going to be the bond hearing judge. You could go to YouTube, put in bond hearings, and you could watch actual bond hearings and listen to how the judges is running the bond hearing and learn the language. Come on, y'all. This thing ain't hard. This thing ain't hard. If you want it, you going to get it. How you learn how to box? You practice repetition. How you learn to play chess? You got the rules of the game of chess. You start learning how the pieces move, then you start playing. You got better and better over time. Everything. How do you learn how to play checkers? The same thing. How you learn how to play backgammon? The same thing. Monopoly. Anything that you done learned in your life. How you learn how to eat with a fork and a spoon? You got to pick that shit up and start using it. Okay? Do not be scared to interact in your government. Do not be scared to take a seat. Get in the seat and learn the job. You got the floor.
Pretty much, I've learned that the people in position in the court and the lawyers and the judge aren't even supposed to be there anyway, so I really never took the show serious.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. You hear people talking about a common law court all the time, right? Oh, you need to be in the front of a common law court. Guess what? All them courts I named, Judge Joe Brown, Judge Maybelline, Judge Ross, all them courts are common law courts. Ain't no attorneys in there. It's the plaintiff versus the defendant. It's the individual who filed the complaint versus the person who the complaint is filed on. No attorneys allowed. That is a common law court that you are watching.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Do it make sense?
Very much.
You ain't never seen none of them judge shows and saw an attorney in there representing somebody, have you?
Nope.
And guess what? Rain Man used to say it best. Wapner. I'm telling you, Judge Wapner was the best judge. Because you know what he used to say before he would start his court? He would say, how y'all doing? Nice to meet y'all. He'd say, I read the complaint. That's the first thing he'll say. I read the complaint. I received your affidavits and I read the complaint. First thing he'll say. The other thing you'll notice about those courts, everybody got a what? A counterclaim. A counterclaim.
Counter.
You should not be in no court and ain't got no counterclaim. Because if you ain't got no counterclaim, guess what? You thinking the judge just treating you like shit, but guess what? You ain't gave him shit to listen to. How he know if you in there telling the truth or lying? You ain't submitted no affidavit answering the complaint, and then with your counterclaim, so he can look at your counterclaim, your affidavit, look at the complaint and what it's saying, and that affidavit, and now he got something to judge by. He's not being a judge because you ain't giving him shit to judge. You ain't giving him what he need. All he getting is one side, so they rolling you over with the presumption of that side. Get it? This thing's simple. I know how it all functions. I know how it operates. I studies them. And when I say I study them, I don't mean I literally be studying them. I'm extremely observant. I'm an extremely observant person. If you ever be around me, you might think I'm not paying your ass no attention, but I'm paying your ass attention. I seen you digging your nose and put that booger under my chair over there. Get your nasty self up out my office. You know what I'm saying, though? I'm watching. Where I grew up at, we got a saying, to be aware is to be alive. I'm extremely aware of my surroundings at all times and who's around me. And I read body language, and my body picks up energy and vibration like a mug. My sixth sense is working. I have intuition. And I'm trained myself to listen to that inner voice that if it told me don't walk around that corner, guess what I do? I turn right around and go back the other direction. Guess what I read the next day in the paper? Somebody got shot around that corner. We all have that capability to listen to that inner voice that is inside us, because that's the Most High talking to you. You just got to train yourself to listen. Stop saying while you sitting in jail, something told me not to do that. Yeah, that was God. You ain't trained yourself to listen to him yet, huh? Okay. You got the flow.
I found this organization.
Listen,
I heard that voice.
You heard that voice? I know that's right. And train your children to listen to that voice. Everybody. Train your children to listen to that voice. Because when they get ready to do something that they know is wrong, that voice is going to tell them, now you know your mama told you don't do that. You got to train them to listen to the voice. It's important for their own safety and protection as they get older. Train them to listen to the voice.
But you also got to make sure they do understand that's the ancestors taking from your ancestors.
Okay. I didn't say who it was. I said there's a voice.
I understand you didn't say that, bro, but you cutting them out technically.
No, I'm not cutting anybody out. I'm not cutting anybody out. I say train yourself to listen to that voice inside of you. That is the voice of the Most High. Guess what? All of our ancestors are the Most High if they're not here. Okay? Don't put me in no box. I'm not in no box. You can't never put me in no box. I'm not cutting out no ancestors or nobody else. I'm saying teach your children to listen to the voice that's inside of them. I mentioned nothing about no ancestors or nobody else. None of that. If you want to teach them that, hey, when you hear the little voice, that's your ancestors, then teach them that way, Andre. But you can't tell me what to teach my children. I'm going to teach them, hey, listen to that voice. That voice is the Most High talking to you. Do what it say. Okay? Anybody else? It's okay. The ancestors gonna get their nationality too, messing with us. When we get our nationality, the ancestors got theirs. Go ahead, you got the flow.
I'm going through a situation where daughter is confessing herself, and I would like to know how I go against a U.S. citizen once I get nationalized to make him responsible for the actions that he's taken. It was quite a bit.
So he ain't locked up?
No, pretty much. The laws basically say that he didn't penetrate her, so everything is good. He didn't have to come into the interview if he didn't want to.
He live around you?
Huh?
He live around you?
Yeah. Yes, and it's well, not around me.
But you know where he live at?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to get you some black gloves and a mask, and on the dark night, and that you see him hide in the gangway. When he walk past, hit his ass in the head with the stick and run your ass out the other end of the goddamn gangway, okay?
I second that.
This simple, cause ain't no man finna be putting his hand on my daughter and they ain't gonna lock him up, and I'm gonna make him pay, cause I'm her daddy.
Yeah, your spirit know what to do, brother. Handle your shit.
Just make sure you don't get caught. Just make sure you don't get caught. Cause guess what? When he walk past that gangway and you crack him on his dome, he don't know who the hell hit him. All he know the next day is he got a goddamn headache. And if you ain't satisfied, catch his ass the next month and crack his ass again. I'm pretty sure he'll get the message to stop messing with people's daughters.
Yeah, but I figured the thing would be to make him pay in the long run, other than instant gratification.
Well, sometimes it's gonna take instant gratification. Like Nobu Ali say, when you get out of law, justice must catch you. Sometimes we gotta demonstrate justice, especially when it's for our babies. Especially when it's for our babies.
There's no way I could get him in the U-Star jails.
Not right this very minute, no.
Gotcha.
We're not set up yet for that. That's why I'm saying we got to get people in this government. If we had our marshals was all the way in place and we had our jails and all of that, yeah, you have filed charges with our marshals and our marshals would go arrest his ass.
Okay, and I also feel that that's why. Also, not solely the purpose, but another reason why I feel it's necessary to fund.
That's why what? You kind of faded out.
I feel it's necessary to fund the organization.
You find it necessary to find the oral statements?
No, fund the organization.
Oh, the government.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. An organization can now have a government, but a government can have many organizations. Y'all always remember that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel it's necessary to fund so these things can be taken care of.
Well, yeah.
Raise money.
Yeah. Nobu Ali said it best. It takes finance to uplift the nation.
Indeed.
So, that's what's up. You know, they started their government. They had a bunch of go-getters. Because, see, when they started their government, they was a bunch of killers, murderers, thieves, and everything else that they released out their jails and sent over here. So, you know, all them was go-getters to make shit happen. So we got to get our go-getters where they are start making shit happen. Because they get it. And those individuals are called patriots of the government. They the ones that do whatever it takes to make sure that the government is thriving and that it's moving. Because we understand that this is for the, like I said, the health, safety, and welfare of future generations of our children. So us being men, that means we put the women and children to bed at night and we go out and get them. Islam?
Oh, Islam.
Candidate.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I'm going to say to that is there's a way you can put a whipping on that of that dude without even touching them or being around them.
Okay, hey, that's Andre Atkins Ill. He gonna give you his number and information, and you call him after this call, and he gonna help you out. How about that, Andre? Okay. He might give you. He might ask you for a picture of the dude or something, and a couple of pieces of his hair, and he might send you. You get a doll in the mail with a whole thing of pens. I don't know. But hey, whatever. Whatever.
I'm ready for the information.
Andre, he said he's ready for your information.
It's 773. You hear me? Oh, yeah, 484. Okay. 7172. Okay, 773 484 7172.
Now make sure you get you some. Now make sure you get you some snail shells, rat tails, and bat hair before you call me.
Okay. Sounds like voodoo to me.
It's long.
But I definitely get the report.
Okay. Any more questions, comments, or concerns? Now, everybody that's on this call now, do you understand and know how nationality is conferred? Woo! All y'all, not all at one time, man. Y'all hurt my ears.
Yes.
I'm glad somebody learned.
Yeah, I did too.
It's more than a proclamation. You have to take action.
All day long. All day long. All right, and there ain't no more questions, comments, and concerns. That's it.
Right.
God bless America. Long live the Republic.
That's all. It's long. Great deal. Great deal.
Yeah, I ain't taught in a while. You know when I used to teach, it used to always be good. It's long.
Well, we go after the 960 like a stick.
It's long.